Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Look how happy he is to be like, I'm a fascist. I'm a fascist. Ah, what are you going to do about it? It's like, dude, I'm telling you, these people, when they're not in these limited environments, if they were to talk like this in like a random dive bar in the most right-wing town in the United States of America, they would get their ass beat, okay?
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mehdi.
I would just like to ask, what makes someone pro-crime versus, anti-crime?
I think when you're soft on criminals, when you let criminals out of prison, when you pardon people who've assaulted police officers, you're pro-criminal. Donald Trump pardoned almost 1,600 people who were involved in January the 6th. I think 600 of them had been charged with assaulting a police officer or obstructing a police officer. 170 had pled guilty to assaulting a police officer. 70 had pled guilty to assault with a deadly weapon. J.D. Vance said, we're not going to pardon the violent criminals from January 6th. Donald Trump pardoned all of them. Are you okay with that?
I would say January 6th is a very special case. I would say it's almost a climax point in history. I would just phrase the question this way.
Climax
right now
history.
in the LA protests, if they were to, just for example, they were to rush the capital of LA, I mean, they'd have to move over all the homeless people living in tents on the steps of the Capitol. But if they were managed to get into the Capitol and they were just protesting, peacefully, let's say police officers were rushing them in. They were letting them in and saying, hey, you guys can go in, like we have many testimonies that say.
What about the violent ones, though?
Okay, violent ones like
Like
what?
a man named David Dempsey, a judge, a Reagan-appointed judge, sentenced him to 20 years in prison. He stomped on police officers' heads. The judge said his conduct was exceptionally egregious. He attacked police officers with flagpoles and pepper spray. Donald Trump pardoned him. There's a man named Daniel Rodriguez. He got 12 years in prison for taking a stun gun and tasing a police officer in the neck.
You can move
giving
that
him
stuff
phenomenal.
there.
The judge said he was a one-man
old
army.
school
Hey,
answer.
Donald Trump
I'm good, man.
pardoned him.
Thank you.
Does that not make Trump pro-criminal?
Appreciate it.
That was a
He's letting
I'm
violent
not
criminals
eating
out of
pitas
prison.
either.
I would say no, it doesn't make him pro-criminal. One,
You're okay with that?
I did not say that. I said that one pardon against somebody.
It was 1,600 pardons. 600 of those were people
one against
charged
one
with...
example that you just gave me.
I can give you more. Just
Okay,
keep going.
fine.
here's the thing about
And I'll say the
Jenkins.
exact same thing every single.
I feel like, the hard part about fascism is it is not a logical conclusion. It is like the end outcome of power meets tribalism, and it's very difficult to actually either debate for or debate against. It's just like, I just think I'm better than because I am a certain particular kind of person and I have the power to turn that into governance. So it's just like, it's fascinating to watch this exercise because I feel like you're trying to use the weapon of logic against a group of people who have foregone logic entirely.
Yeah, it's that's why like race realism, for example, is a really important tool for a lot of these guys because it's like it's a failed scientific justification for like inferiority and superiority. But that's the most extreme level of like fascist racist politics is like trying to justify it, trying to logic your way into these positions, even though the positions itself are completely ridiculous and illogical.
Your argument will fall apart because it's not just one example if I keep going.
Go for it then.
Okay, Shane Jenkins got 7 years in prison
And thank
for
you, man.
9 criminal offenses, attacking police with a deadly weapon, destroying government property.
How do
Trump pardoned
pardons
him.
that probably shouldn't have happened turn into pro-crime?
So you've agreed that they shouldn't have been pardoned?
Sure, but that wasn't your claim. Was January 6th? Your
we
claim
don't,
was Trump is
inadvertently
pro-crime.
Yeah,
points.
because he pardons criminals.
Okay,
You know,
I
we
would
do
say
it all.
that's the fault.
Let's talk about non-January 6 people.
You don't want to
Okay.
get
He's
canceled
pardoned
by the
people like Paul
racists like
Walsh
Zoran did.
who took millions of dollars from his own employees, was sentenced to tax crimes, had to pay back $4 million. Trump pardoned him. He bought himself a $2 million yacht.
Dude, have you
Why
been
is
in
he
Michigan?
pardoning criminals like that?
I don't think you should. I don't think really presidential pardon should be a thing at all. But I
agree.
I don't think that.
All right, pause.
That means something.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thanks.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Mehdi.
What is it?
Mehdi.
You're from northern UK, I guess?
I'm from London, North London.
Okay, fair enough. What's your ethnic background, if you don't mind my asking?
My parents are from India.
Okay, perfect. Just getting premise here. First of all, I want to say
The premise of Donald Trump being pro-crime.
No, I want to...
What kind of premise are you getting?
I love how he's
Concern
trying to be nice
myself
about
with
it too. He's like,
Yeah.
if you don't mind my asking. What if he was like, I do mind your asking, fuck you.
Hold up, I'm about to be racist. I just want to know exactly what kind
Who am I
of
being
racist
racist against? Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me dial in some of the stereotypes. here. Go ahead.
Polite racism.
why you care about what's happening in the U.S., first and foremost. Secondly, I want to say this. With the argument,
should people who live in the
let me
US
finish.
not care about?
Let's not interrupt each other. Because I have this thing, like people know I have this thing. I have to stay calm, okay? So
Okay.
here's the thing.
I have this thing. It's called being a bitch. I can't fucking hold my own in a conversation without throwing a fit.
See, this is the thing. This is the kind of masculinity. He's like, listen. You don't want to see me if I explode, bro.
Yeah. Little man.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Be more racist than you already are.
Yeah.
I am happy that he released J6. In fact, so much so that I was prepared to protest if he didn't. Okay. So when
Wow.
you say, are you okay that he's pro-crime? Sure, because you know what? We're changing the definition of what crime is, first and foremost.
You don't think stomping on police officers' heads is a crime?
I don't think it's no longer a relevant conversation anymore. You're
Really?
arguing. No, it's not, because you know what? Okay, have you seen the U.S. in the last 4 or 5 years?
Yes, I've
BLM
lived
protests.
there for a
Have you
while.
seen? Okay, I myself have been involved in these protests. I've seen egregious things that you couldn't even imagine.
So we
being
have no
done
rules
to
then?
conservatives. It's not about that. It's
it
about
about?
tribal warfare. That's where we're at in the U.S. I don't know where you're at in the U.K. You're from India, so I don't really.
I'm not from
Let me
India.
pause
Oh,
real
sorry,
quick.
your parents are from India.
See, this is the thing that kills me. It's just like the people who accuse folks of tribalism generally appeal to tribalism, and that's the crux of it all. It's like the premise of his entire argument is you don't belong here because your family originated in a different place. You shouldn't care about what happens. Ergo, I get to define everything that's relevant about this place and then debate you on the premise of what I just defined. And anytime you refute me, I'm going to go back to this idea that actually essential tribalism is really the differentiating factor that really matters at all. And I'm going to keep making that point to you. And part of me says, the funny thing about it is like, because when you speak and you say, let me refute this point, they're like, oh, but you're coming from a different tribe. So it's like, it's impossible to refute that essential argument. And it's so antithetical to everything that this country is built on. I'll blow your mind here for a second. I was raised by my father, who's an Egyptian immigrant, and my stepmom, Jackie. And so I'm ethnically 100% Egyptian, and I'm born and raised in Michigan. My brother, Osama, he is ethnically half Egyptian, ethnically half white. And so my stepmom is a daughter of the American Revolution. They can trace their lineage back to Abigail Adams. And so, somebody like him, I mean, at some point is like, look, he's as ethnically American as this kid is, and his name is Osama. And their vision of America would be that somehow that's a bad thing, right? Like the whole idea of what makes this place amazing is that it's not built on one ethnicity. It's that it can actually encourage people from the rest of the world to come here and build here and be a part of things. I mean, your dad came here to build stuff. Mom came here to build stuff. My dad and mom came here to build stuff, and they did. Like my dad holds patents and taught, thousands potentially of students, or hundreds of thousands of students, and worked for the big three. Like the notion that somehow America is better without immigrants, part of me is just like empirically untrue. But then in the conception of somebody like him, impossible to refute because you don't have a contrapositive of what it would have been. And so it was fascinating. My brother, after 9/11, right? My parents were like, oh, you could just go by Sam. He's like, no, my name's Osama, and it's as American as any other name, right? And it was like, I would have been 8.
This discourse was popping off on Twitter, unsurprisingly, about Omar Fateh being like, no one named Omar would be a part of the Revolutionary War. And I always found that ironic because it's like, first of all, that's historically incorrect. And secondly, half of the accounts that were making that argument were like Catholic, papal enjoyer or whatever. And it's like, those guys would literally skin you alive before they would even harm the head of hair on a Muslim's head originally. Like the OG Revolutionary War guys would literally just destroy you for being a Catholic far before they would ever get mad at a Muslim person, ironically enough. So
pick and choose. That's what happens when you pick and choose your history, right? Cherry picking history doesn't usually work out for folks.
India. So
I'm an American
you have
citizen.
your own stakes.
I'm an American,
You're an American citizen?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know how you got that, but fair enough. Here's the thing.
Are you an American citizen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Not sure how you got that, but okay.
Born here.
Okay.
Born here, and my family lineage is settlers from the 1500s, so I have some stake in the claim here, okay?
But you're
a little different
But you're
than
a
yours.
descendant of immigrants. Settlers.
I didn't know.
Colonialists.
Yeah,
You don't
colonials.
look, you don't look very Native American to me.
I am Native American. Whites
not.
are Native Americans. What are
Sorry,
you talking about?
you're not.
What are you talking about?
You're not.
Whites are Native Americans.
Really?
I think
What was
you're-
happening before the 1500s?
I think you're getting confused with it.
I don't mind going on a tangent, but what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting.
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that came here from
Do you know
Asia.
what indigenous means?
Listen,
all right, what do you do with this? What do you do with this? This guy's like, whites are Native American. There were indigenous people here. Okay, what does indigenous mean? Like what? How? I don't. Oh my God, it's so stupid.
listen, before
Indigenous
America,
people can't
you
come
let
from
me
somewhere
finish?
else.
Why do you ask a question if you're going to interrupt?
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It
Doesn't
means
sound
they
like it.
came here first, right? They came here from Asia by way of land bridge. Have an argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody else about that. I don't care.
Is he an American?
I genuinely don't.
Oh, shit,
damn.
never mind. He said it. He said it. Native Americans are Turks. Did you know this?
Really?
No, it's not real, but my grandfather, Turkish people think everyone is Turkish. There's a big like
I feel like this is true of a lot of groups of people.
yeah, a lot of people do that, but there's like a big
Unless you're like-
Turonic mythology surrounding Turkish culture. And my grandfather would say that Native Americans, like they crossed the strait and they're Turks. Like they crossed from the Asian plains, so technically they're all Turkic.
There you go.
And there is like some kind of genetic thing that both Native Americans have and Turkic people have. It's like a tooth thing. I don't know, but it's not. It's ridiculous. It's before even like the concept of Turkic peoples
Of like
existed.
an of ethnicity as a.
Yeah.
I mean, if you step back and you actually think about like what it means to be a member of an ethnicity, right? At some point, like we're talking about humanity originating, people going to different parts of the world, and then adapting to their local climate in ways that punch up certain genetics and punch down certain other genetics, such that we get different colors of skin and different body habituses and different propensities to sweat or grow muscle or run fast or run slow or grow tall or whatever it is. And now like we have this sort of fealty to this idea of like of genetics that have been expressed more or less that we call ethnicity. That's kind of an arbitrary thing, right? It's like your family's been in
It's a completely arbitrary thing. And especially the association that you place upon it is entirely socially fabricated.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the interesting thing is like people want to then, because what makes humans human is our capacity for cognitive engagement. They want to pretend that there's like some cognitive difference between peoples. When part of me is just like, no, actually, in some parts of the world, the sun shines brighter. In some parts of the world, the sun shines less. But no matter what you are as a human being, your propensity for social engagement and cognitive engagement are 100% what makes you human. And so there was like the same pressure to grow cognitively in different places. And so part of me is just like, guys, these arguments make zero sense when you actually step back and break them down in any scientifically rigorous way. But then again, to the video you played before, like what scientific rigor in the face of the internet? So, maybe I yield.
Yeah.
Care. Yes, he is.
Okay, just checking.
My point is, okay?
Nothing to do with crime. So far, you've agreed with me that these people
Because
are
you're
criminals.
derailing, dude. I'm trying
You
to stay on
literally
track.
sat down and asked me where I'm from. I think you derailed this conversation from the get-go.
by that, but I'm because
I'm not
I'm always
offended. I'm
curious.
just wondering what it
Because
has to do with
I'm
crime.
always curious.
We're going to talk about
why-
immigration. Don't worry. Later on, you can come back.
I hope so.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case that he's not pro-crime
I just
and
got a
pro-criminal.
round of applause. I could probably get another one actually if I asked for it.
Wow.
So I don't think I'm
is
doing
this how
as
you
bad.
get rounds of
Yeah, he got a bunch of races in a room to agree with him. Fucking sick, dude.
applause? You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing. Amazing. That
Well,
must
wait
make you
till
feel
this comes
good.
out. You know what? I'm
20
actually
people
glad
agree
you're
with
getting
you,
this
applauded you.
emotionally outraged right
Wow.
now. This is great.
I love it.
Do I have to say anything at this point, or are you just going
Please.
to keep going?
No, please.
Okay.
Make your claim.
Well, my claim is that I don't care if it's pro-crime. You want to go back to the topic of conversation?
That's fine. We agree then. He's pro-crime
but
and you
I have
don't
a
care.
question.
Hello,
there.
sir. How are you?
Hey, so I'm going to be as respectful about this as possible, but the truth is your claim is completely bad faith. You do not care about being anti-crime. You yourself are pro-crime. Your side is pro-crime because you're a progressive.
How am I pro-crime?
So I'll give you an example, right? So your side, not Donald Trump, has passed a series of laws in California. Let's go with California. It's where we are right now. It's where I'm from. I don't know. Are you from California?
No.
Or? Okay. So in California, for example, the state legislature, completely progressive, just passed a law that limits sex offender registration to 10 years. It was life before. That's pro-crime. The legislature in California, which is progressives again, has passed a law that says the voter-induced three-strike law is no longer absolute. If someone murders someone, stabs someone on 3 separate occasions, a judge now does not have to give them life. That's a progressive law. That is pro-crime. You support that, don't you?
I actually don't support sex offenders coming off a list. I think they should be on for life.
Okay, so you disagree with progressives.
So hold on. you and I both agree that sex offending is a bad thing, especially child sex offending, right?
It seems like you and I agree on that.
I
The
agree on that.
legislature of California doesn't.
So I'm not here to debate the legislature of California. I'm here to debate
You're
Donald
progressive.
Trump being pro-crime.
But
And
you're
I'm
progressive.
saying that Donald Trump was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. When Ghislaine Maxwell, who's the worst child sex trafficker of our lifetime, she's serving over
No,
20
you
years.
said-
Do you know
wait,
Ghislaine Maxwell?
Yeah, she's actually not. Jeffrey Epstein's the worst sex trafficker.
He's dead. I'm talking about people who are alive right now.
It's interesting.
Dude, wow, what an incredible argument. It's actually not. Jeffrey Epstein is the worst. Not her second in command. Okay, Donald Trump fucking likes him too. What's up? Not the argument that you want to make, I don't think. God, these guys are such goddamn nerds, bro. Actually, the second worst.
Interesting though, you didn't use his name, right? Wouldn't he be the one who did this?
Oh, great. I'm glad you brought up
Okay.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, before he died, did an interview with Michael Wolff. He's on tape. I don't know if you've heard the tape. He says, my closest friend was Donald Trump. I was his closest friend. Elon Musk, I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He tweeted recently that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files. And Ghislaine Maxwell, who was the right-hand woman of Jeffrey Epstein, when she was on trial for child sex offending, which you and I are opposed to, Donald Trump stood up and said, good luck to her. I wish her well. So
He did say that. That's true. Very weird, but that is a thing that he fucking said.
yeah, that makes him pro-crime and pro-criminal if he's being soft on child sex
Well,
traffickers
you just said they
like
were his
Epstein.
friends. He's
No,
clearly
I'm saying he was
something-
friends.
I love Mahdi, but honestly, God, his premises are they're so liberal. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. His like, Donald Trump is pro-crime and pro-criminal is like, yeah, it is. Like, I think we got to get more creative when dealing with fascists nowadays. Like, fascists need to go to prison permanently, you know? Or things like what the partisans did to Nazi collaborators wasn't wrong, and maybe an important method of dealing with modern versions of fascist movements. Things like that. Don't you dare criticize Mahdi. You wish you could debate like him? No, I would never call into question his skills as a debater. He's great. And it does seem like he was blindsided by how openly and transparently fascist they were. To be fair, if you're not in the spaces that I'm in, this is unironically next level brain rot where you don't realize like how much of the modern American right-wing movement is just objectively fash, especially under the age of like 35. Like this was a shocking revelation for a lot of my normie friends who hit me up after this, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on, bro?" I'm like, "Dude, have you ever met like a 25-year-old right winger? Like young American conservatives are all like this. They're just insane freaks. I mean, who do you think was putting up the black sun on the Ron DeSantis campaign? You know, like they don't realize that so much of the youth movement in this country is just like straight up neo-Nazi. So much of it, and I guess like my brain is so broken. I have to deal with these guys online all the time and like the fans of these guys all the time. Like, so I'm kind of used to it. Whereas like the only time Mahdi actually talks to a fucking straight up neo-Nazi is when he's like debating some Israel defender, you know? So I'm sure he's like used to it from that angle, but he's not used to like the American Hitler Youth and what kind of sentiment they are circulating around in their field of discourse.
Was friends with Epstein. You haven't seen the videos? They danced together, partied together. Epstein said I was his
he
closest
knows.
friend.
He's not supported the pedophilia part. The only people supporting
Actually,
pedophilia
that's
are
not
the
true.
left.
Trump gave a speech about 20 years ago where he said Epstein's a great guy. He loves young women. A lot of them are very young. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, laugh, laugh. So yeah, I think he's pro-crime and pro-criminal.
So you think
and I think
he's
he's
pro-crime
soft
for
on
having a
sex
friend who's
offenders.
do you have any friends who are criminals?
Not that I know of. Certainly not child sex offenders. No, do you?
If it came, no, of course not.
Okay, so we're both in agreement again.
If
So
it
why are you
came out
defending
tomorrow
Donald Trump?
if it came out tomorrow that one of your friends was a child sex
You know
trafficker,
what I'd do?
you'd stop being friends with them.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I
but-
wouldn't say-
And then I'd go on TV and I would say, "Oh, look, Mr. Hassan was friends with this guy 10 years ago. Therefore, he's
What if
pro-child
Mr.
sex
Hassan
trafficking."
said, I wish them well when they're on trial? Wouldn't you ever go at me for
You
that?
wish your
Wouldn't
friend
you
well
ma-
on trial?
Yeah, child sex trafficker. Would you be mad?
I wouldn't wish someone well, but that's
Donald
your
Trump
gotcha.
did.
That's your gotcha.
It's a pretty
Is it
big
I mean, would you ever let anyone go if they were liberal and they were saying that? No, I don't think you would. I think the only reason why you're saying that right now is because Trump is the one who said it. That's fucking insane. That's your gotcha that my favorite president wished a prolific sex trafficker of minors well. Excuse me, what is he supposed to do? Break her out of prison? You're going to find a way to make that seem normal too.
Gotcha.
He wished a friend
Pretty
well.
big gotcha.
Okay,
He
but
praised
see,
the he
what
praised
you're
the
really
woman
trying
for
to do
child
right
support.
now is you're
What
trying to
about
get
the
back
fact
to
that he's-
Donald Trump
what
on
about
a
the fact
personal
that
level.
Elon
Let's
Musk
talk
says his
policy.
name is
What's
to-
his policy?
Oh, you want to talk policies?
Yes.
So when he left office in 2020, he left behind the highest murder rate for over 100 years.
He left
Between
behind the highest murder.
Yes.
That is the most bad faith claim you
No,
could
no,
possibly make.
it's a fact from the
No,
CDC
and you know
data.
what? Here's why it's bad faith.
Can I finish a sentence and then you can come back in?
You're just lying to people. Donald
I'm
Trump.
lying? Can I finish the sentence?
Donald Trump does not cause the
Can I-
murder rate.
can I-
Murder is a state
Oh,
level
that's
crime.
hilarious.
Gavin
Conservatives
Newsom is
spent-
more responsible for the murder rate than Donald Trump is.
That's hilarious. So Donald Trump's not responsible for murder rate, but other politicians who are Democrats
Yes,
are.
because it's
Everyone
a state
can see
level
your
law.
partisan
That's
shit.
like saying no. I'll say Republicans are too.
Let's-
State governors who are soft on crime are the ones that are
Let
responsible
me finish
for
a
murder
sentence.
rates.
When Donald Trump left office in 2020, between 2019 and 2020, according to data from the CDC, from the FBI, from Pew
Oh
Research,
God, what the fuck? What is that? What? I'm sorry. What is peeking out from the corner? At first, I was going to make fun of this classic young American conservative, but that is crazy. Someone said Pringles guy has fallen. Oh my God. They got a magician?
the 30% increase in the murder rate between 2019 and 2020. It was the single biggest jump in the murder rate since 1905.
And who's doing
so he's pro-crime
who's doing the murdering?
and
Aren't they
pro-criminal.
responsible? Who's doing the murdering?
The murderers.
So aren't they responsible
But why
for the
did it
murder
go
rate?
up on his watch?
What?
Why did it go up on his watch?
Gee,
He's
that's
very
real
bad.
Wait. Who's doing the murder? Aren't the murderers responsible for the murder? Then why do you care about who governs? Because you're so hyper individualistic in an effort to defend Donald Trump that like policies don't matter at all. There is no way to I don't know, lower the murder rate. And the only reason why it has consistently gone down since like the 70s is because what? People just magically got better? Wait, I have an idea. America became more diverse since the 70s. Perhaps that's the reason, okay? That's what I'm going to go with. More immigrants. More immigrants. That's why the murder rate is lower now.
That's
He's
a real
very bad
hard
at
one.
fighting crime
That's a
for
real hard one to
Republicans.
figure out, right? We shut down the whole economy during COVID. We told everyone they couldn't go out unless it was to violently protest. We told people that if a cop tries to arrest you, that cop's probably going to get charged with murder.
No, I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it.
Right,
But the
so
pandemic
did he
didn't
cause
finish
that?
in 2020.
What?
The pandemic didn't finish in
No, but
2020.
you asked why the murder rate
and
went
yet,
up.
if we're
The
going to
murder
play the
rate
what
went up
about game,
because of
you
all
guys
these
blamed Joe
factors.
Biden for crime for years.
What Joe
For
Biden
years.
actively induces policies that are pro-crime. I'm asking
So
you
does
for
Donald
a single-
Trump. Okay.
Name the policy
I'll
that's
name one right
pro-crime.
now. I'll name
Please,
one
I've
right
asked
now.
you for like 10 minutes.
I'll name
Please
one right
do
now.
that.
No, you haven't actually. You talked
What,
about
some of-
California legislatures. He pardoned violent criminals
That's
who
not-
then went
that's
on
not a policy.
to commit
He
other
did-
crimes. You don't think releasing violent crimes into
A
the
pardon is
community?
a one-time thing. What's his policy
know-
he has pushed? Name a law he
Hold
has
on,
signed.
a pardon
What
is a
law has he
one-time
signed?
thing. Is a policy is not one-time
That's
thing.
like Jimmy Carter pardoned the
You
draft. No,
guys
listen.
may want to dodge January 6th, the pardons.
I'm not dodging that.
Then
Jimmy
deal with
Carter.
it. Did you agree
okay,
with
I'm
them?
gonna right now.
Do you agree with
Jimmy
them?
Carter
Do you
pardoned
agree with
draft
the pardons?
dodgers. Does that mean his
I don't,
policy was
I don't
no one
support
has to...
Jimmy Carter. Do you
Okay.
support the pardoning of people who went on to be prosecuted for sexually abusing a 7-year-old child, illegal gun possession, reckless homicide?
Now, see,
These are people
there's
who
more bad
released.
faith. See,
These are
there's more
people who
bad
released
faith.
from
He
prison.
didn't pardon someone for sexually abusing a
No, but
child.
they went
No, they did. No, he's wrong. They literally did. As a matter of fact, Trump administration's prosecutors argued because the child sex abuse charges were discovered in the process of the January 6 offenses, they quite literally made an argument that he should not be charged for it. They said that this guy would not have been outed as a pedophile if it wasn't for the J6 investigation because of the other crime that he committed on January 6th, but because Donald Trump was pardoning him for the January 6 offenses, that he shouldn't be charged with this as well. Yes. How fucking nutty is that? Also, so many of them went back to prison or died by cop. It's kind of crazy that these guys were just like Final Destination style, destined to either die by cop or go back to prison anyway. It's kind of wild. I guess it's not that wild that so many of them were straight up sex offenders and pedophiles when you think about it, really. But it is kind of wild.
To be
Pardoned
convicted
someone
of it.
for
So
rebelling
that's-
against the government that they believe
No,
had
they-
rigged elections. That's what he pardoned them for. He didn't pardon them for
No.
sexual child abuse.
But they were criminals who committed those crimes. He let them out. So that means
Now,
the crime rate goes up.
So you say they're criminals because they did the crime, right?
Yeah.
Would you extend that to illegal immigrants, that they're all criminals because they committed a crime? I have a
No,
feeling your
the
position
Supreme
is going
Court.
to change.
Supreme Court. We're going to talk about immigration.
That someone who's illegally entered the United States, not a criminal, but somebody
not
who
according to the
illegally
Supreme
entered the
Court.
Capitol
Not
is.
according to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Yeah, what is a fucking civil offense, dude? What the fuck are you talking about? Crossing the border illegally is nowhere near as severe of an offense as fucking pummeling a cop. Like, I'm like, look, I don't want to. Oh my God. These motherfuckers got me defending. These motherfuckers got me defending January 6th like a liberal, okay? Holy shit. Yeah, dude. There's a difference between, like, I don't know, jaywalking and fucking doing an insurrection. What the fuck?
The Supreme Court has said that anyone who enters the United States
The
illegally
Supreme
is not a
Court,
criminal.
and we can jump to future claims.
Can I get the case
We can
site?
jump to 20. You want to get the case?
The case site, please. You said the Supreme Court
The
said,
citation of the case.
Yes, that entering
It's
the United
called-
States illegally is not a crime.
It's called Arizona versus United States 2012. Go look it up.
Pause. Pause. You've been voted out by the
Oh, this guy looks gross. I can't wait.
Nice
It's
to
a
meet
pleasure
you.
to meet you, sir.
Mehdi, lovely to meet you.
So
Okay, I just want to say I have no idea what the fuck's about to happen, but I will say this. Why do they have this kind of energy? This is white Drew Pavlov, by the way. He also kind of looks like Randy Fine in his youth. Like he's got the Randy Fine body before he really let himself go. You know what I mean? A perfect hog, perfectly rotund. Can someone tell me why they have this like weird energy where it's like, buckle up, buckaroo. It's time for you to get a lesson in epic meltdown. It's like, why? Why are they like this? Why are they all like this? They must have spent too much time on the computer, I assume, right? Like look at this. Look at his fucking facial. Look at his attitude.
say
Like, pleasure to meet you, my good sir. Time for an epic ownage.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frankly.
Okay.
Because in regards,
Yeah. Oh, everybody likes me.
in regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us. And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is, we're defending things in this country that shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized, making women.
What? That's your number one gripe, bro? Jesus, that's weird. I feel like, I'm sorry, that's a real weird way to enter the conversation. Man, Zoomers are unsalvageable. So cooked. If someone comes into the conversation and is like, guess what? The First Amendment should not defend pornography. I'm like, why are you this invested? Very strange thing to make your like primary cause. Like, hello, nice to meet you. I'm the anti-pornography guy. It's like, why is this in your mind so much?
Children be victimized as a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment.
What?
I think that, quite frankly, there are
Things like blasphemy shouldn't be wait, what? Yo!
a lot of legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So
I'm sorry, but isn't this just like what people thought Sharia law is? Like being anti-blasphemy? What are you, a fucking medieval peasant? Like, what are you saying? Like, isn't this literally what they think is happening in like Muslim countries, but they just like want to do it Christian style? And in more often than not, in more cases than not, like it's not even happening in said Muslim countries.
this is wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay, surprise. I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than
How do you
willing to. I'm more than willing to amend it and include
Whenever
the
it's in
Second
your
Amendment.
favor?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not. Because
you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not.
What? There's no way. What? Wait, so he would be on board with like the woke pope? Like, isn't the current pope woke as well, as opposed to, I mean, the previous pope was even woker than the current one, but like they're pretty fucking pro-immigrant around those parts. So I don't really understand. I don't think that these guys want Catholic teaching at all. I think I don't think he wants like whatever the Pope is saying currently.
Catholic.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree, and
so
that's
you
part of
support
the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone.
Why
I can't
did
even
you-
remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted.
This is
I kind
fascinating.
of voted just to.
I came with this
troll a
argument,
little
but
bit,
I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
Yeah, absolutely.
How do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local
Who
leaders,
is the we,
or-
by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far right conservatives sitting right around
White
me.
people?
Yeah,
No brown
absolutely.
people. So,
Well,
some
actually,
of you guys,
I have quite.
some of the people
I
in this
have
room
quite-
don't make the cut from what I can see
actually,
visually.
Actually,
Okay.
hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you.
Okay.
I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white and should stay that
How
way.
does the United States...
I don't understand. How can you be like, how can you call yourself pro-America and be Catholic? Like, this is the fucking WASP nationalist country. We were ruthless to the Catholics for a while. Like, it's just like, what, bro is on some team and I don't know what team it is. Cause like when fucking JFK became president, it was a big deal. Okay. Also, by his own estimation, Biden is the best possible president because he was Catholic. What kind of, I don't know what he's talking about. What the fuck? I guess like for him, this fantastical Catholic movement is going to be like the best possible way to bring about fascism.
I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh,
to say
well,
your name.
I use
Connor,
a pseudonym online,
fair enough,
but
Connor.
fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite
This guy's name is Pinesap. He's one of the groypers that got to hang out with Mr. Fuentes. Ugh. He's just a groyper. The self-identified fascist making the rounds in today's viral Mendiosam videos and online personality in Nick Fuentes' groyper movement known as Pinesap. Here he is speaking at a Fuentes rally in June 2024 and pictured with other figures in the movement. What the fuck? They're such fucking... Ew.
frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
I didn't ask about
whether-
deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a,
God, he just keeps saying quite frankly. It's like...
a sort of benevolent leader such as
Where does he come
Franco.
from?
It could be a kind of aristocratic class, could be someone
No, but who picks the autocrat?
frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote
Quite frankly, the people.
on it. Kings
So
were
isn't
paid.
that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills because
How do you
that's the
know?
whole thing.
How do
Well,
you know?
Carl Schmitt
Autocrats
makes,
tend to
Carl
kill everyone,
Carl
even their own
Schmitt makes
supporters.
this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right? You
Carl
liberals,
Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a
Who
fan
ca-
of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at
I
all.
didn't say that. I
Doesn't
didn't
matter
actually
to
say
me.
that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that. But
What about the
you know,
persecution of the Jews?
Wow, that was the one L for the Nazis. That they persecuted the church a little bit.
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But
And
you
so
don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was a little bit of persecution
We
and stuff
may
like
have
that,
to
which is
rename
bad.
this show
but-
because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
No, this is a Republican. This is the young Republican. This is the young Republican movement. He said a little bit. Oh, you said 6 million equals a little? Dog, this motherfucker is not. He is not. He is trying to not so subtly imply that it wasn't 6 million. That's what he's trying to say.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you could say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
Look how happy he is to be like, I'm a fascist. I'm a fascist. What are you going to do about it? It's like, dude, I'm telling you, these people, when they're not in these limited environments, if they were to talk like this in like a random dive bar in the most right-wing town in the United States of America, they would get their fucking ass beat. Okay, like they would even in a Nazi bar, they probably beat the fuck out of this guy for being too much of a nerd. But like in any other bar where they're like watching Fox News, average conservative, super fucking right wing, very racist, they would beat the fucking doors off of this dude. 100% straight up, dude. I'm a fascist. Like no shot. How do you reconcile that with saying this is the average young Republican? I mean, I'm exaggerating when I say this is the average young Republican, but there are a lot of fucking prominent like people who self-identify as like young Republicans in the young conservative movement do operate like this for sure, but they're not the most, like they're not the average. They're not even close to being like normal Republicans in general. This is just the online face, unfortunately, of this movement.
who's clapping. 1, 2, 3.
Absolutely.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get my set of where everyone
Because
is on this.
in-
Because you know
during-
that millions of people are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out who the fascists and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
clearly you're not.
During the
Clearly you're not.
During the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will. That's why they won. The conservatives were fat cats. They were aristocrats. They didn't care.
favor of killing people who aren't like you?
Quite frankly, I'm not. If
You mentioned
they,
Franco earlier. Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
What are you talking about? He never killed any women or children. He was Catholic,
He only
dude.
killed combatants. Is that what you're claiming?
Yeah.
Fact check by San. Franco and his forces killed or executed 150,000 people. That includes members of the Catholic clergy who were deemed either liberal or loyal to the Spanish Republic. He never killed any. He didn't kill people. He killed communists. Like, that shit goes hard in, you know, whatever fucking Discord server you are in. In the real world, when you say stuff like that, people are like, that's weird.
He only killed combatants.
Never killed any innocent people.
The white terror was only punishing those people who did acts of terrorism. And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests? I mean, priests don't brandish guns and kill
You
people.
just refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't care what you think about me. If I'm a Nazi
And
and
the
being a
feeling
Nazi
is mutual,
and
so-
being a Nazi means upholding human
kinda
dignity,
done.
because I even believe in your dignity. I don't in
I
a state
don't-
that I was
with the
running.
greatest of
I
respect,
wouldn't want to hurt
I
you
don't
or
debate.
anything like that. But
What are we
quite
doing
frankly,
here? I don't debate fascists.
okay. So do you concede then? I mean, why
Do I concede you're a fascist who won't condemn the Nazis?
Yeah.
Yes, I concede that.
Okay, great. So I mean, what are we doing here? Because I mean, you
don't
just seem
know what
offended.
you're doing here,
You
to be
just seem
honest.
offended to be quite.
You just seem offended. Did I offend you? Did I offend you by saying I'm a fascist? It's like, dude, oh my God. Like, what are you supposed to have a conversation with this guy on? Like, I mean, seriously, what are we supposed to do here? What a fucking insane person. I'm sorry. It's gonna sound a little ableist what I'm about to say, but this is no different than like talking to the mentally ill person at the fucking bus stop, okay? And trying to have a reasonable back and forth about like what kind of constitutional law theories is the Trump administration adopting? Like what is this? What the fuck? What do you mean? This guy is just a fucking mentally ill charlatan. This is a motherfucker who is a COVID baby, okay? Some of his most formative years, he did not have any sort of social interaction, which would have probably softened some of these edges. And he spent all of that literally in fucking Nick Fuentes' Discord group. And this is the outcome. Now you released him into the wild. And he's like, yeah, I'm a fascist. Did I own you? Ah! Did I destroy you? Why are you so triggered? I'm a fascist. It's like, nah, man, you're fat. That's what you are. First and foremost, sorry. I'm fat shaming. I apologize. You look like a baby, like an overgrown baby, LARPing as a fucking loser.
Quite frankly, like
I'm offended by people who can't condemn the Nazis. Yes, I am.
okay. Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really
Against
care
the
about
Jews?
being. Yeah, sure. I don't care about being called a Nazi.
sure.
Is the whole thing.
I never called you a
I
Nazi.
care
You
about
called
doing
yourself
the right
a Nazi,
thing.
a fascist, and a General Franco
Well,
supporter.
yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was so super cool, quite frankly. Because the whole
And
thing.
you don't believe in democracy.
I don't believe in
What
democracy.
are you doing here at a televised debate? This is democracy. Don't want to debate and disagreement.
Because it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be openly talking about our opinions so we can get the state that we want. But it doesn't mean
This is
upholding
great.
free speech.
I like that it's like you can see why the Department of Education was the first target. It's never been easier to understand the rise of Nazism in 1930s Germany. I'm a fascist. Conservatives start clapping. I watched the video and I feel two things. Feel much better about myself and my intelligence. Terrified for the future of this country. They're not even here to argue a point. They're just excited to finally have an opportunity to verbally spew hate at a brown guy without repercussion. This episode feels like the beginning of something really bad. 5 years ago, these people wouldn't admit that they were bigoted. Now they own it. At least the YouTube comments are fucking shocked.
After we win. I mentioned
the only good thing about this fascist moment we're in is that you guys are so open about it.
The
It's
whole
great.
reason
Say
I
the
mentioned
quiet part loud.
the
Keep saying
whole
it.
reason I mentioned Carl Schmitt earlier, and you kind of blew past him, is the friend-enemy distinction.
past him because of the Nazi
even
point.
liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to act.
The biggest problem with this debate in particular is that this is not a debate at all. Fascists don't debate. They use debate to launder their views so they can gain legitimacy. But when it comes down to it, they simply want to kill people who aren't them. I mean, it's true. It's actually actually a perfect point. You just described the left. Leftists do not believe in racial purity. Fuck fascism, but ironically, you wanting to silence those you disagree with makes you just like them. Evil. Fuck fascism, but also what we must do is platform fascists and not push back against fascists and basically become fascists. And then if you fucking say that this person is a fascist and fascism is wrong, then you're just a fascist. But actually, the only kind of fascist that I suspiciously want to offer criminal repercussions to. I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy people out there, you know? You don't have to listen to every single person. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a guy who's like, I'm a fascist, I love Franco, is like, okay, well, what kind of conversation can we have with you? What kind of conversation is there to be had here? There's got to be at least a couple where they were like, oh, I can't shit on him. I can't call him a terrorist. It's over. There's nothing left to live for. Like, it's definitely more than zero.
Enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy. And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you're going to punish me, I'm going to get in power, and I'm going to frankly punish you when you try to leverage power against me. Just that simple.
I'm not sure what you want to say.
Hey, it is what it is.
All right. Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
I can't say the same, but thank you.
I want to start by asking this. Do you care more about helping
Immigrants are overall good for America. Okay, let's see.
Americans or immigrants in this claim?
Immigrants are Americans. I'm an immigrant and an American.
Well, immigrants are not Americans. Americans are the people that were born here.
That's not true. Where'd you get, what's the basis of your claim for that?
Are you talking about people that get naturalized in the process of becoming American?
14th Amendment. Have you read it?
Okay, yes, I have.
Citizenship clause. It says any persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States.
I'm aware of that.
There's about 40 to 50 million naturalized Americans in this country.
Yes, but
you didn't seem aware of it because you said Americans versus immigrants.
So, but are you understanding that the process of getting all these immigrants that come in here we've been also, the millions of immigrants, it's up to the millions, it's the last 20 years now, and it has dramatically affected Americans here in the country, which
positively, I would argue.
People like me and everyone around here, we cannot find homes or even get jobs within our own fields that we go to college for.
It's because of immigrants, dude. What do you mean? You think they're not building the homes fast enough? Is that the problem? Like, what are you talking about? This part is the dumbest part because it's like an immigrant is not the reason why the housing market is the way it is, you fucking moron. It's because of people using real estate as a speculative asset and refusing to build housing by need. Like, you think that if you were to deport 20 million immigrants, all of a sudden the landlords were going to be like, well, I guess we got to lower our prices. They would be like, oh, well, all the homes and all of my property value, all of a sudden, I guess I just got to lower it. I guess my little nest egg is no longer is no longer as important since we racistly wiped out 20 million people. Yeah, rents will never rise ever again. Yeah. You know what'll also make it easier, dude? If we just fucking wipe out like a chunk of the construction force as well, a chunk of the labor force that engages in construction, approximately 25%. That will certainly boost the building efforts and the building initiatives. 60+% of all agricultural output gone, wiped out overnight. No more poultry, no more meat, no more farming, no more construction, nothing. Your grandparents, sorry, no one to take care of them.
That we get into debt for. And because more blue collar work, especially in construction, agriculture and so forth, and the hospitality industry, we cannot get jobs in those fields. So it requires
Are you looking for a job in construction?
I am not. No, I went to college.
Okay.
Many people here are in college.
Oh shit, my bad. No, she wasn't. She didn't. She doesn't want that. No, never mind. She doesn't want to do that. That'll fuck her nails up. You know what I mean? But like, someone else got to do it. Not me though. How about we give those guys the proper paperwork so they can get better wages, you know, since they're doing the same fucking job, if not more than you are. How about that? I think that's the best possible way to go about it. I know, revolutionary idea. It's called giving people the proper documentation and then helping them collectively bargain for better wages and better benefits and better healthcare overall. As a matter of fact, not even have to argue for better healthcare as a benefits package, because healthcare should be given by the government. You know, crazy idea after crazy idea.
College or went to college, but we can't even find jobs in our fields. Also because of the H-1B visa program as well. But in regards to just your claim about immigrants specifically, we cannot even get jobs to pay for housing.
Unemployment is at a record low right now, even under Donald Trump. And I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would say unemployment under both Biden and Trump has been
That's not a very good argument, I don't think. But anyway, let's just keep
record low
going.
levels.
Okay, is this in regards for American citizens?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Wait, what? What did she think that what? Nah, just unemployment for undocumented is at a fucking all-time low. That's what Mehdi Hassan was talking about. I was about to criticize Mehdi Hassan here for saying like, well, unemployment is at an all-time low. Well, it doesn't matter because these are not good-paying jobs. So most people are criminally underemployed. So there is that problem, but that's not something you can address regardless without actually tackling the root cause, which would be capitalism. It seems like you aren't a fan of this, Hassan. No, I love Mehdi Hassan. It's just, this is, I don't know.
I'm unaware of that statistic, but from what I see, from what I
I'm an
consistently
immigrant
hear-
and an American, and I employ many
And
American
my-
citizens,
and-
both naturalized and the ones born here.
And
I employ
my
Americans.
parents. No, my parents came
Americans as defined by you.
My parents came as immigrants to become naturalized, so I'm not necessarily opposed
Oh,
to
wow.
immigrants.
So you're the child of immigrants.
Correct. I'm a child of immigrants. I was
But
born
you don't
here.
accept that immigrants are Americans.
Not at this moment.
So your
because-
parents are not Americans.
Not at
Oh my, are you fucking kidding me? Bruh, she said, not at this moment. Too much. I'm good. Nobody else. That is crazy.
this moment.
So hold
no,
on, your parents are
they're
not Americans.
citizens. They became naturalized.
You just said you can't be citizens by being naturalized.
No, I was born here, and I'm not
Yeah,
opposed
you're born
to
here, right?
naturalization. I
But
never
are your
said that I'm
parents-
against naturalization.
Are you against naturalization?
No, I never said I was against
You did.
naturalization.
You began. You're very. Everyone was here. They can play it back on YouTube. You said Americans or immigrants. Are your parents Americans or immigrants?
No, my parents are United States citizens.
But they're immigrants. You said.
No, they came here as immigrants. However, but
So they
I
are
want to make the
immigrants.
claim
You
that
said,
we cannot
I came
even,
here as an immigrant. I'm
but
an immigrant.
at this point, when they came, the
I
United,
think that
the
people
United
aren't
States
happy with the way
economy,
this is going for you.
the United States economy was not at.
It's better.
Yeah, once they found out that she was also a daughter of immigrants, they're like, yeah, get her out, get her out, get her out both of this country, literally and figuratively, and also get her out of this debate.
Now the American economy is better than it's been
Not
for
from
many
the-
years,
not from the
and I can say
statistics
that
I
as someone
see.
who doesn't
We
like Donald Trump.
We're
Which
giving
statistics are you
millions
seeing?
and billions of dollars
Which
to
statistics
people
are you
of,
seeing?
minorities as well as
The reason the economy is doing badly now is because Donald Trump's tariff policy.
We're giving millions and billions of dollars to minorities and immigrants. Okay, her parents came here as immigrants. She was born here. When Republicans talk about the strain that immigrants put on the American economy, they're lying. But the way that they lie is literally her. They point to her and people like myself and many others who are the children of non-citizens, who are natural born citizens, who do have access to some of the limited social safety nets, like and you know, public education and things like that. They add that to the calculation to make it seem as though immigrants are actually costing the American social safety nets this much. They're not talking about immigrants. They're talking about American citizens, just born to parents that are immigrants. Yeah, the thing that is I guess like kind of wrong, or the thing that like causes me some gripe with Matthew is, and his argument is like, he's not addressing the anger that these people have. This is the problem. And their anger is directed in the wrong direction, but there is some underlying truth behind the reason why they talk about economic instability. This is a major issue with liberalism. To say, well, the GDP looks good, the economy looks good, the American economy, the American economic engine is in full tilt, baby. Like, that kind of stuff doesn't actually address the real issues that people are experiencing. That's the problem. That's why I keep saying like, oh, I don't know about this argument. I don't know about that argument. Because like the appropriate way to look at this is to say, yeah, you're frustrated, but you're blaming the wrong guy. You're frustrated, but someone who is responsible for the economic uncertainties that you are experiencing has also told you that the reason why you're feeling angry is because of Mexicans. That's not the case. It's because of Trump, and it's because of the Democratic Party as well. It's because of Republicans, because of the Democrats in charge. They are not addressing your needs, and I totally understand that. But we can't come to a reasonable conclusion here if you keep repeating over and over again that it's actually Mexicans that are responsible for the fucking housing shortage.
We cannot
Nothing
even
to
get
do with
businesses.
migrants. In fact, the
They can't
congressional
even start businesses.
I'm an immigrant. I started a business.
No, I understand because the SBA is giving people billions of loans.
I didn't take any loans.
They're giving them billions.
I didn't take any loans.
I'm not
from
saying
SBA.
you did, but I'm saying that statistically speaking, they're giving billions of loans.
So should we do statistics? According to statistics, immigrants are 80% more likely to be entrepreneurs than native-born Americans.
Sure,
and more
absolutely.
likely to start businesses
I'm aware of
and
that.
hire Americans.
No, I'm aware of that.
Immigrants
But
are
we
more
also-
likely to pay in taxes than take out in benefits.
And
They're more likely to add to innovation and jobs and wages. This is what the statistics show. The Congressional Budget Office. Let me just finish my point and then let you come back in. The Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats both use it. They have said that the immigration surge that you mentioned will lead to an extra $9 trillion of GDP over the next 10 years. That amounts to $65,000 per American household. That's $65,000 for each and every one of you holding up a red flag.
Okay, I understand
All right,
that, but
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Eddie.
What's going on, man? Nice to meet you. All right, so first, before I start, I need to know what you mean by good. I can talk about the economy, I can talk about culture, I can talk about all those things. I need to know what you mean.
All of them.
All of them.
I'm saying immigrants are good for the economy. They're good for
You think lower
culture.
wages are
They're
good for the
for
economy?
society. Where's the lower wages?
What do you mean, where's the lower wages?
Where are the lower wages?
Yeah, so you can
What's
look
the
at
basis for saying there are lower wages?
Sure, so you can look at like the STEM industry. It's been in like a complete and total recession. There's been tons of studies like from the Economic Policy Institute that shows that like companies like Tesla, companies from like Silicon Valley, they engaged in mass firing of workers, around 35,000, but then they hired around 12,000 H-1B visas. And it's kind of just standard economic thinking.
It's not standard economic thinking. The vast majority of economists and economic studies suggest that there is a negligible, if no impact on wages over time.
That's not.
See, this is what I mean. His argument isn't wrong. Immigrants are used as a second-class labor pool to actually depress wages for the entire labor pool. That's correct. That is not incorrect. The issue on the other hand, however, is who is firing the fucking American labor force and displacing them. Refocus your enmity towards those people. And also on top of that, understand that if the guys that were coming in had wage parity, then it would not be a depressive force on the existing labor pool's wages. Just like unionization actually draws up wages for the rest of the sector, okay? People who are in unions in the same sector often have 10% higher salaries than those who are non-unionized. But as a direct consequence of unionization and improving the wages of the unionized workforce, you end up scaling up the pay grade for all workers in the same sector in the same vicinity, because now other companies have to compete against the unionized workforce. Undocumented labor pools have the exact opposite reaction. Undocumented labor actually ends up depressing wages because you have a constant fucking underclass that you can replace to do these tasks. So of course, as long as undocumented labor exists in the country, these guys are always going to work with them, especially when the penalties for the bosses is marginal in comparison to the many benefits they get from offering no benefits and much lower pay, and then sometimes paying the penalty when they want to displace and fire the entire labor force by calling ICE on themselves. That's the issue. It serves nobody any purpose to say, well, Mexicans are going to do the jobs you don't want to do. I think that is a almost supremacist argument that people make. There's truth to it, but the reality is the appropriate thing to do to increase wages across all sectors is to document the undocumented labor force and allow them to join unions and make better demands for higher wages and higher benefits and better compensation overall so that all wages can go up. H-1B visas would be perfectly fine if they had, 1, wage parity, and 2, no fear of deportation if they lose their jobs and are allowed to unionize as well. But these guys don't actually want that either. I think the economic reasons as to why these guys are anti-immigrant is simply because they want to find a different reason other than that they're fucking racist. Let's be real.
Immigrants. In fact, your colleague mentioned earlier, construction, there is actually evidence in construction, yes. But in some industries, in some areas, there is an impact. But overall, no. In fact, a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that migrants since 1965 have raised wages and raised innovation.
Who's that by?
National Bureau for Economic Research.
No, hold on. That's where you publish studies. I'm asking
yes,
for
I didn't memorize the names of the authors.
Yeah, I know you didn't, right?
Can you give me the authors you've got?
Yeah, hold on. The study you're talking about is from Giovanni Perry, and what he did is he didn't account for aggregation issues, nor did he...
The vast majority of studies...
Let me speak.
Please.
Yeah, thank you, right? So So listen, he didn't account for aggregation issues, right? And when you look at like the spatial approach, which is what all these economists use, you're not accounting for the fact that when immigrants come into an area, natives leave. If you look at an occupational approach where you look at...
Wait, what? When immigrants come to an area, natives leave? What? Why are these economists not studying how racist the native population is? Because they're just like me. Why are they not accounting white flight into their economic arguments? Am I crazy? Did I misunderstand what the fuck this guy is saying? Also, ironically enough, every single area in this fucking country that is densely populated is literally it happens to be the most diverse areas in the country. So that argument is fucking insane. They are literally centers of commerce and centers of GDP production, okay? What the fuck what is this guy saying? Why won't these economists factor in white flight and my feelings about being around Mexicans?
Look at the specific firms that immigration is going into, like Kim ETAL 2013 did. You find a net negative impact when there's a 10% increase of immigration. You find around a 0.5% decline in wages when it comes to the specific occupations they're going to.
So
all your studies are flawed.
So 0.5%.
Oh, he's talking about pre-existing labor pool and H-1B visas, creating an environment where wages are depressed in certain sectors as a consequence of H-1B visas having additional reasons as to why they wouldn't advocate for higher wages and they could actually be paid less. He's not wrong about that.
Weigh that up against what I just mentioned from the Congressional Budget Office, which is a massive boost in GDP per head, which you're not counting for, massive increase in tax revenue, immigrants actually funding the deficits and debts by paying way more in taxes proportionately into the undocumented immigrants. And what's interesting about wages is, I'm in a room full of, I don't know what to call you anymore, conservatives, Republicans, fascists, I don't know. One of you has proudly said that.
Call us correct.
One of us proudly, correct. I'm in a room full of correct people, but do any of you actually care about wages? Because, for example,
I actually do,
For example, do you support raising the minimum wage?
Absolutely, and you can't do that when you're bringing all these people coming into.
Wait, why not? Wait. Hold up. Why not? Because a Mexican don't know what to do with $15 an hour. Like, wait, I'm sorry. Why wouldn't you be able to raise minimum wages if there are migrant workers, as a matter of fact? What? Because I don't want Mexicans to make $15 an hour. That's why. They're already making too much. I don't want it. Because that would make me feel bad. Can you explain it fully? I think I and most of chat don't get it. Sure. If you have a bunch of people coming into the country that are purposely kept undocumented, because the difference between an undocumented migrant and a documented migrant, or an undocumented migrant and a natural-born U.S. citizen, is just paperwork. If they're purposely kept undocumented, then they do not have the same protections that you do. Your protections are already marginal, they're already limited, but undocumented migrants do not get even the modicum of protections that you have, right? This way, they are more desperate and they are kept desperate so they can work for much lower wages. They will work for much lower wages. Companies know that they will work for much lower wages. Companies know that there is always going to be a pool of second-class citizens in this country that will work for much lower wages. So why the fuck would they actually hire you when it's going to cost them a shit ton more money? You're going to expect benefits when these guys don't expect benefits and will work for literally tiny, tiny fucking slivers of dollars. It's that simple. They will work for much lower pay than you and will do the grueling labor and won't actually complain. However, if they were actually documented, then all of a sudden they could complain. All of a sudden, they could actually work for better wages. They could demand better wages and better benefits, as a matter of fact, if they were to collectively bargain in the form of developing unions. In that process, there would no longer be a secondary market that these companies could utilize. It's that simple. I explained it earlier. Unionization leads to increases in wages in the same sector in the same vicinity for even the non-unionized workplaces because they have to now compete with higher wages and better benefits from the unionized workplace. It's even better if you're directly unionized. Immediate 10% increase in your salary on average. So if unions are responsible for increasing wages across the board, then undocumented migrants are responsible for decreasing wages across the board because companies would rather rely on undocumented labor, because they're cheaper and they cannot advocate for their workplace protections. It's that simple. The solution to that is not to deport the undocumented labor pool, the solution to that is to actually document them.
It's not the reason the Republican Party blocks the minimum wage. You think Republican politicians don't vote for an increase in minimum wage because they're worried about immigration?
Did I say I voted Republican? Did I say I voted Republican?
Well, I'm in a show that was called 25 far-right Republicans.
That doesn't mean I'm going to support every single Republican candidate.
So you and I, good. So you and I, let's agree. We both support raising the minimum wage. Yes,
100%.
$7.25 since 2009. It's lost 30% of its value. If you care about wages, we should be raising the minimum wage in this country, not scapegoating migrants who aren't the cause of low wages in the country.
Good call from Mehdi. Okay.
You know who's causing low wages? Billionaires, millionaires, and people who won't pay fair wages to their wages, regardless of whether you are an immigrant or a native.
I get the monologue right now. Let me respond.
You had one. You had one with your one study that had a 0.5% impact. Go.
Yeah, and your study sucked that you didn't even know who wrote it, right? So let's get back to the point, right?
Because I don't need
and
to
there
go
it
one
goes
study.
again. The
majority of studies say that wages are not impacted by migration.
The majority of your studies are flawed. That's what I'm telling you.
My studies.
Right.
Neither of us are economists. It's the economist studies.
Don't assume who I am.
Are you an economist?
I could be.
But are you?
I could be.
Are you?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you?
I'm going to major in economics, right?
Are you an economist?
Oh, he's going to major in economics eventually.
No, not right now.
Okay, so when I said neither is economist, I was correct.
Just don't assume
to use your favorite word.
See here, dude, this is nothing of substance. You look at the red flags; they're coming up. Let me get to the point.
Great, but
so
when you talk about
the CBO, one thing you're not accounting for here is that they're assuming an equilibrium, right? Do you know what that means? You shouldn't make these type of assumptions. You said earlier that unemployment.
Do I know what it means? I thought we're not doing assumptions.
Okay, hold on. You mentioned we were at 4.2% unemployment. Yeah, that's counting people who have part-time jobs. That's counting poverty wages.
Always been counted.
Yeah,
I'm against poverty wages.
You
Can
won't
we agree again?
Yes. If you go to the Lookwood Institute, they calculated a way where it's functional unemployment. Okay. If you account for things like just people who make around $25,000 a year, people who have fallen out of the labor market, people who only work part-time, if you count all of those people together and then add on the unemployment, that's around 25% of the population. So when you go, we don't have jobs.
Wait, he's not wrong. This part is correct. No, he's not wrong. 25% of the overall eligible labor force is unironically underemployed. Yes, there is a major issue with the gig economy in this country, and it's been completely eviscerated due to all of these dumb fuck Republicans gutting what remained of labor protections for the past couple of decades. The solution to that, of course, isn't to just randomly decide to deport immigrants. It's so fucking stupid. These guys are so dumb. How can you literally see the problem, correctly identify it, and then turn around and you're like, and that's why we got to deport immigrants? What the fuck? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Please, someone make sense of this. You build this argument and it makes perfect sense. And then your solution is to take a random sidestep and punch someone else. How the fuck does that work?
We don't have people to do this, and that, and the other. No, yes, we do. Okay, we don't have a labor shortage. We have a good job shortage. And when you keep bringing these people in, and they're taking those jobs.
The good job shortage is the fault of big firms, employers. I'm an employer. I can say that.
Who hires the immigrants?
Who hires the immigrants?
Yeah.
Employers.
Exactly. So when you bring up these big firms,
so
that's the way that keeps
let me
wages
ask
down.
you a
You
question.
understand that, right?
So let me ask you a question. If you got rid of all immigrants coming in tomorrow, moratorium, you think that Republicans and employers of big firms would suddenly raise all the wages?
That's
what you
Great question. This is a great question from Mehdi. It's true. Do you think that these guys would magically? It's the same principle behind the Pareto principle. These guys will be like, immigrants are coming in and they're fucking my girlfriend. Okay, I can't have a girlfriend because the market, the dating market is polluted. There's too many people with their salsa hips. It's okay, let's say we now magically wave a wand and it's a white-only nation. Do you think you're going to get pussy? No, you're not going to get pussy, dumbass. It's going to be the top 20% of Aryan chads that fuck 80% of the Aryan ladies. That's it. You haven't actually fixed the problem for yourself. All you did is eradicate the salsa hips. That's all you did. That's it. That's it. It's so stupid. You're still maidenless, okay? It's dumb as fuck. Just like if you were to eradicate millions of migrants, documented and undocumented, from the fucking labor pool, you're not going to get better wages as a consequence of that. You're just going to cripple the economy. You're going to destroy the economy. That's all you're going to do. I don't get it. What was the correct problem he identified? That there is criminal underemployment in this country. 25% of the labor force is underemployed. He's right about that. That is a real fucking issue. If left unaddressed, we're going to have more and more economic instability. That's it. That part is correct. But immigrants are not responsible for that. That's fucking stupid.
So what I said, you
That's
notice
what
how
you
it
believe.
was a complete of your ankles.
That's what
all
you
right?
believe.
You pivoted the hell
That's what
away
you
from the
believe.
conversation.
Is that what you? I'm
Are
on
your
the
ankles
subject.
okay?
Do you believe that wages? I'm just wondering how naive you are. You believe that the 1% will raise wages in the federal wage
They will
if
be
we
forced
stop
to.
immigration?
They will be forced to.
great
When you
being
increase
naive.
labor's relationship to capital, okay, and you give labor more bargaining power because you're
But
tightening
this
the
is a very
supply of
simplistic
labor.
understanding of economics because you're
Okay,
not,
explain I'm wrong.
He's not wrong. I can't believe this motherfucker is using labor bargaining power. Oh my God. How can you fucking say that and then turn around and be like, it's the immigrants that are at fault? They're also laborers, you fucking moron. What are you talking about? They're also a part of the labor pool, you jackass. Do you think when someone is a Mexican, all of a sudden they're not like a laborer? Well, how does this work? This is why I'm fucking annoyed with this idiotic argumentation. You only read half the book? No, he didn't read any of the book, okay? He thinks immigrants are scabs, I guess.
Tell you how you're wrong. Because you're ignoring the fact that when immigrants come into an area, they spend money. They create jobs through their
about
presence.
1/5 of their monthly income leaves the country.
That's a good thing also because you don't like US aid, foreign aid. So this is the point. They create
Don't
jobs. I
assume
came
that.
into this country. So far, every one of my assumptions.
Like, if you think there's two tiers of labor, okay? You got laborer and then you got Mexican, then make the Mexicans laborer. Put them in the labor class by doing what? Documenting them. There you go. Boom. Magically solve the problem, okay? The issue with like Nazballs and people like this that try to act as though the problem is fucking migrants is that it has no, like, it's just wrong. It has no materialist understanding. There's no difference functionally between a Guatemalan migrant laborer and an American laborer, okay? An American citizen who is a laborer in the same fucking field. There's nothing. There's no difference. They still got two hands and they're still fucking hammering the nail the same way, okay? They're both working. They're both doing labor. They're both having their surplus labor values stolen by their bosses. The solution to this problem is not by, I don't know, culling the fucking pre-existing labor force. The solution to this problem is to make sure that there is a bottom in the labor force where everyone is properly protected. That's it.
It's about you as being correct. But listen to me. I am an immigrant. I'm speaking from personal experience.
Get the hell out.
I don't even like... I should get the hell out.
Yes.
Why?
I don't want you here.
Why?
Because you come here and say all this bullshit
Why?
about how Americans are lazy.
Why?
You push your left-wing
I never
politics.
said Americans are
I don't
lazy.
know why you say this.
I never said Americans
yes,
are lazy.
You are.
The only person
You're saying
attacking
immigrants
people
have
is
to
you.
come into this country so they can do jobs that we don't want to do.
I
That's
never
exactly
said
what
those
you
words.
said.
When did I say it?
Oh, really? You
When did I
didn't
say
that?
it? We're
So
on
why don't we-
YouTube. Guys watching on YouTube,
You're so triggered, except he's literally losing an argument. He's not even, he could have even won this argument, ironically enough, if he just didn't fucking randomly become insanely racist here. But I guess that's the whole point for these guys, ultimately. He's just like shaking with racism.
rewind to the time where I said immigrants are doing jobs we don't want to do. When did I say those words? Words never came out of my mouth.
Okay, so why do we have to bring in immigrants? Why do we have to bring in immigrants to the country if we have people who are going to do the jobs?
Pause. You've been voted out.
It's nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you.
You're going to have to go.
Nice talking to you. You're going to have to go, bro, is what he said as I left, to an American citizen. Good to know where you stand on immigration. It's not about immigration, is it? That's what it's not about.
Yeah, it's racism. Please. Yes!
Hey, how you doing?
Yes.
Good to see you. How are you?
Yes. The magician. I can't wait to hear what comes out of this motherfucker's mouth, okay? Oh, my Lord.
So, what type of immigrants are we talking about?
Oh, my God. Oh, bro, I am Persian, bro. Donald Trump is my president. Oh, bro. What type of immigrant are you talking about, bro? Oh, let's go. Oh, hell yeah. I'm locked in.
What do you mean?
Like any immigrants or
immigrants? That's what I said. Immigrants
are illegal
overall.
immigrants.
Undocumented immigrants also contribute
Illegal.
greatly to the U.S. I say undocumented. I don't think people are illegal.
So, let's put it this way. I mean, I'm an immigrant too, from Iran.
Okay.
There isn't
How
even
do you
US.
feel about the fact that people...
Wait, oh, you're from Iran? Oh, I couldn't clock that. Thank you. I couldn't see the pin. Oh, hell yeah. This guy's awesome.
here want you out. Are you okay with that?
I'm here to debate you, not debate them.
I mean,
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
you're all on the same side. You're part of one group.
No.
You've been clapping each other.
No, I mean, there are conservatives here, there are far right people here, there are Republicans
But how do
here.
you feel about that guy wanting me and you to leave?
But, you know,
I'm just wondering. Wait, this is the topic of immigration.
It's not
How
about
do you feel about the guy?
It's not about my feelings towards them.
Okay.
It's about staying on this topic.
Okay.
And
Immigrants
talk
are good for America, yeah. You and me, we're good for America. And the guy over there wants us to leave. So I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
So I believe that there has to be strict immigration laws.
Okay.
We have to make sure that the people are coming here have the good intent of the United States in mind.
That's not my claim, but okay.
So
my claim is about immigrants are net positive.
If you just open our borders to every single person that wants to be here, that claims that they have economical hardship in their country.
Who's calling for open borders?
No, I'm just saying,
it's a straw man. So you're just saying a straw man.
No, I'm saying
you're wasting time with a straw man. No one's calling for open borders. I didn't call for open borders.
You wasted time.
Immigrants who
wasted time trying to cause division between me and my
division.
friend
He wants you to leave the country. That's a pretty big deal.
All right.
I mean, you can ignore it, but that's your side, my friend.
Like I said, you were the one that tried to derail this argument.
Derail?
By bringing that.
It's literally core to my argument. I'm saying immigrants are good to America. People on your side are saying we should leave.
This dude is 100% tied a damsel to some train tracks at some point in his life. He's dastardly. There's no other word to use here other than dastardly. Oh my God, I love him. Oh, he's so amazing.
Not me.
And
me
I asked you, what type of immigrants are we talking about? Are we
immigrants
talking about
overall?
Overall. So
I mean, we're not gonna. So you want me to get into like particular communities? I'm not playing that.
So
game.
you believe that people that come here without
overall
any
help
respect,
the society,
without any respect to our laws and our border.
What are you saying, man? What are you saying? People who are coming here to fucking with no respect for our laws, like, dude, people are coming here to survive. Okay. There's no like secondary motive. There's no other alternative reason. It's just, that's it. That's what they're coming here for. They're not like, oh, I can't wait to be in America so I can avoid their laws.
Are going to be good for this.
Also, you can't be fucking Persian and be talking like this about immigrants, dude. What the fuck do you mean? Like, you're literally at most second generation. Your fucking parents were afforded amnesty. Shut the fuck up. What do you mean? Half of the guys in that room don't even want you there. What are you talking about?
This country.
No, of course not.
So you can't say that all immigrants overall.
I never said all immigrants.
Well,
I said immigrants overall. Immigrants overall doesn't mean all immigrants. Sorry to break that to you.
All right. So we have to make sure that the people are coming here have the good intent of this country in mind. Agreed?
Yes.
All right,
irrelevant to my claim,
but when you have undocumented immigration going on, you can't vet that. You can't make sure about that. Let me real quick, talk about my background. There is no American embassy in Iran. So in order to come here, you have to stay in line for 4 years, and you have to go through some serious vetting procedure to get here. But I made it. And that process has to be in place because, I mean, you don't want terrorists to fill this country.
I made it too. I'm an American citizen. I went through lots of vetting. I took my test.
And that's how
the guy
it
over
should
there
be.
wants us to leave.
But
he wants us to leave.
When people
don't really care about vetting, do they? It's not really about vetting, is it, my friend?
People should not have
You're in denial.
People should not have the right to ignore our borders and our laws.
What about those of us who don't ignore the borders? Should we get to stay?
Of course.
But he says we shouldn't.
Well, I'm not debating him.
You kind of are because you're all together on this.
No, I'm debating you.
Okay. And I'm pointing out to you that your argument is in bad faith because these guys are actually speaking the truth and you're in denial about who's on your side. He wants you gone.
The guy in the back's like, yeah, Matthew's cooking here. I do want him out. Look at his hat. My hat's way cooler. Get him out.
Never claimed that I'm on their side or they're on my side. Okay. I'm here to debate you.
All right, pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
By the way, this is so funny because he literally got clapped because he's Iranian. Because automatically his position is untenable for the rest of the races in the room. So on the issue of immigration, their point is get him out. So you can't even actually have any sort of response here.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Mehdi.
Edwin.
Nice to meet you.
The question is, immigration is good for America, right?
Overall, if you look at the net positives to
God.
things like our
Here
society,
we go.
our culture, our food, our economy, our general diversity. I know the D word is a bad word in places like this. I think immigrants have been a net positive. I think if you look at your everyday lives, we all benefit from immigration.
And what kind of conservatives disagree with that?
Some of the guys who told me to leave this place and go back to, I'm not a citizen.
Do you think all conservatives?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, in fact, Ronald Reagan, who's a president I wasn't a big fan of until Donald Trump.
Oh my God, this guy keeps waving dude. Oh my God, whenever they see brown conservatives, they just keep fucking voting them out. Oh no! They just immediately, they're like, nope, flag them. Get the Mexican out.
Coming on now, people like Reagan look good in comparison. Reagan said in 1986, our country is a nation of immigrants. Our immigrant heritage is our strength. He gave an amnesty to 3 million undocumented migrants. He understood the value of immigration. So I'm with Reagan. Yeah, although this guy's putting his thumb down there. So Reagan's not popular in right-wing crowds these days.
Yeah. Well, he's popular with me.
Good to hear.
I'm a deferred action of childhood arrivals. I'm actually...
Bro, are you okay? Did you get lost? Did they lie to you? Did they say, what? Hopefully this is a moment of self-reflection after this entire thing went down, right? What does that mean? I'm ESL. DACA, he's a dreamer. That means his parents brought him into the country when he was under the age of 18, when he was a child. And under the Obama administration, he got deferred action on childhood arrival, DACA, which is an executive order that allowed him to go through this incredibly rigorous process so that he can consistently have his immigration status held in limbo permanently. You have to go to college, you have to retain a job, you can't leave the country, you can't get into any fucking criminal trouble whatsoever, because if you do, you immediately get fucking deported. And it's crazy because you didn't do anything. Like, you were a baby, you were a child, you didn't have any, you could not consent to coming into the country or not. And this country, in most circumstances, is all you have known. You have no connection to your home country. You have no, like, you're American through and through. How the fuck do you consider yourself a far-right conservative as a DACA recipient? That I don't understand. Like, it literally, did you get, you got kicked in the head by a horse or something? Like, how did this happen? Did he stroke out like John Fetterman? What's happening here?
I was an illegal immigrant myself. I came here when I was 10. I'm what you would call a legal alien now. I didn't have any say on my parents' choices.
Yes.
Do I think that they were well-meaning by wanting to bring me over for a better future? Absolutely. I believe that.
Yeah.
Did they break the law? Yes. Do I agree with people breaking the law? Not necessarily.
Okay, self-deport? Like, what? Bro, what is he doing? What is he saying?
Do I think that there's ever a situation where you can break the law for the better or the
Bro
greater?
just debated himself only to lose on the premise. What the fuck?
You're good. Immigration is it's an interesting issue because I do agree with you that
good to hear.
Everyone is an immigrant in the sense. Like, can you tell me a little bit more about your journey?
I've been here 10 years. I'm a proud American citizen. I'm a dual national. I'm British. I'm American. And I am an immigrant who's contributing to this country. So yes, I'm very much proud of America's immigrant heritage. I'm part of it. And despite what one of the other people said on this show earlier, everyone here, unless you're Native American, is a descendant of immigrants.
Sorry, you've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Thank you, man.
Nice to meet you.
What?
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Actually a fan. I see you a lot on Piers Morgan.
Okay, thank you for watching.
Yeah. So my argument is that Americans are what is a nation? A nation is a geographical location full of people who have some things in common.
Did they get did that guy sneak in? Like, what happened? Why was that guy, what did the previous guy say? Like, he just came up and was like, I think sometimes breaking the law, especially when it comes to immigration, is good because I'm like literally a recipient of my parents illegally bringing me here. And I don't think it's a crime. Did he have an epiphany in real time? Like, what happened? He's an MMA guy, 1000%. Call Felix, he will explain. It's CTE brain. Didn't we see this Amish motherfucker before? Jedediah. I feel like we saw Jedediah before in a previous video.
So I think some of the things typically in history are going to be like race, religion, ethnicity, language. These are some of the things that we have to have in common in order to actually have a functioning civilization, especially in self-government. I'm not necessarily a giant fan of self-government. I'm a Catholic nationalist. I'm not a fascist. You have to have at least some things in common in order to actually have a civilization. And the immigrants, especially illegal immigrants that come into this country.
Jeff Dippard. No, stop. Why'd you have to do Jeff like that? Stop it. This is the bad universe Jeff. This is the Jeff that doesn't do dips, okay? More like Jeff no Dippard. This is Jeff Nippard if he didn't work out, okay? Instead of hitting the gym, he maxed out his racism points.
Now, disrespect us. They hate everything that we believe. They don't even speak our language. I watched, after Trump got elected, I watched an interview of an illegal alien woman crying and about getting deported, and the entire interview was in Spanish. That is a spit in the face. It's disrespect. They don't care about us. They abuse our system.
So you've gone from a teleological argument into just a bunch of series of wild, unsubstantiated claims.
Well, I'm asking you, what is
I don't accept any of those claims, that they hate everything we stand for. And I don't accept, I'm not going to deal with the teleology. I'm going to deal with the false claims that you made.
Go ahead.
There's no bait.
There has never been, you know what's really crazy about this? There's never been a point in American history where we haven't had an influx of migrants coming in from a country that didn't primarily speak English. That has just never happened. This is one of the most American aspects. It is probably the only good thing about America, immediately. There has never been in the history of the United States, from even before 1776 and certainly after, has there ever been only English speakers coming into the country. There have always been other nationalities. There's always been other languages. Motherfucker says England. You think America was entirely comprised of the English? Is that what you think was going on? Because even then, there were the French, there were the Dutch, there were the Germans. You understand that, right? And those motherfuckers didn't speak English. What the fuck do you think? This fucking dipshit's great-grandparents at a certain point, okay, I assume, given his Mormon or given his Amish background, even though he said he's a Catholic nationalist or whatever the fuck, you can't fool me, Jedediah. I know you speak Dutch Amish. At a certain point, your fucking ancestors were living in goddamn mud huts speaking German. Okay? That's what they were doing. Don't come to me with this bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. The idea that there's they're speaking Spanish is disrespectful. What do you mean? No, you're disrespectful. What you're saying is antithetical to the development of the American country, okay? The nation state of America. You just are doing the other side of the story, which is classic. Whenever new waves of migrants are coming into the fucking country, you got motherfuckers who are complaining about how they don't speak American. That's it. That's always existed as well as migration being a persistent force. The other side of the story is that there have always been people who go, nah, you're different. I don't like you. You don't speak my language. You're untrustworthy.
The basis for saying that all immigrants or all undocumented immigrants hate everything we stand for. It's funny that you said you're a Catholic nationalist. How did most Catholics get to America? Irish Catholics, Italian Catholics. Immigration. Mm-hmm. Much of the people coming across the southern border are Catholics. Yeah,
I know. I don't.
So it's really funny that you say you're a Catholic nationalist, but Catholics came to America via immigration.
Yeah, so
immigration is good for America.
Yeah, but there's the new kind of Catholics I don't like, the Spanish-speaking kind, except for the original Spanish-speaking kind of Catholics.
You and I can agree. Otherwise, people of your faith wouldn't be here.
No. Well, we were here on this side of the world, in this continent, from conquest. We came over here, and
but the big surges of numbers, as you well know, because you're a smart guy, Italian, Irish immigration waves, Catholic immigration waves.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not even claiming.
Are you against those?
I'm not even
Were
claiming.
You against those if you were alive then?
I'm not even claiming that
a
immigration
lot of people
is
were
bad.
against those.
I'm not claiming immigration is bad in all cases at all times.
What is your claim?
My claim is that immigration, especially now, and especially for foreign people that have nothing in common with us.
What the fuck did a Catholic have in common with the OG white Anglo-Saxon Protestants? What are you saying? Half of the motherfuckers were escaping the Catholics, dog. What are you saying? What is this world right now? What are you talking about? And the dudes you were talking about literally spoke Spanish, motherfucker. Why do you think they speak Spanish? You think the indigenous population naturally spawned with Spanish built into their brains? What the fuck are you saying? He's like, oh, well, you know, them Spaniards coming down the southern border, we got to fucking put a stop to that. Why are they speaking Spanish? What? None of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. The Aztecs in Spain simultaneously invented Spanish. It's much easier to be racist, like they are having a tough time trying to dance around it, where they don't make sense. Yeah, it's kind of funny because like the first party that came in and were like, I'm a racist piece of shit, and I think I would rather live in filth and make sure that there is not a single person that doesn't look like me and isn't just as inbred as me living on U.S. soil. Like, that guy has a much easier time making a convincing case because he's just more honest. This guy's like, well, I'm not a fascist. I'm just a Catholic nationalist who seemingly hates the Catholics that are coming from the southern border who speak Spanish, even though my ancestors also spoke Spanish as Catholics. And also some immigration is good, but others is not. And I will not tell you what is bad about the immigration because I'm too afraid of saying I'm scared of brown people. Like, that's it.
It's funny that you say it's especially
a negative
now.
thing.
I forgot your name. My apologies.
Brian. Yeah, how many
in every era there has been a Brian who says, "I'm not against immigration, just immigration now."
Okay.
This is what people said about Italians. It's what people said about Irish folks. Said about Russians, Poles, and now we're saying about people coming across the southern border. Because you're not being you're being a little disingenuous saying I'm only against immigrants now. This is a trope.
How's that disingenuous?
This is because it's a trope that's been used by nativists throughout American history. And every wave of immigrants has come in and faced the same hate and animus and bigotry and lazy tropes. And every wave of immigration is ultimately assimilated, integrated, benefited the country. In fact, assimilation right now, according to Jacob Victor from the University of Washington, assimilation rates based on language and citizenship and naturalization are higher now than 100 years ago.
Okay, let me make a statement first. I think that you in your
Cooked. Also, second gen, it's over. Second gen is almost complete assimilation. By third gen, it's over. Every third generation immigrant actually falls into the same fucking idiotic fail son pattern that we all as American citizens have fallen into. 100%. Even the moral minority or whatever, the fucking representatives hailed as like the best minority group, East Asians specifically. Third generation, look at TikTok. They're American, fully fleshed out, getting fucking awful grades, just like everybody else. Modeled minority, not moral minority. I'm sorry. That's Paul Weirich's moral majority.
Ignored my statement, but
you and your own person are a complete perfect example of why immigration is negative and why we shouldn't allow people who don't have anything in common with us. You're pro-abortion. You're pro-euthanasia. You're pro.
I'm pro-euthanasia.
Yeah, you went. I've seen your stuff. You've defended euthanasia.
Pro-euthanasia.
Yeah, on Piers Morgan.
No, I've never discussed euthanasia with Piers Morgan in my life.
Okay, so my point is that you don't agree
actually,
with
I'm
the
the guy
founders
here.
of this country.
If anyone watching at home, I'm the only guy here who actually supports American values, democracy, free speech, the Constitution. I've got folks here telling me they don't believe in democracy, that they're nationalists.
Wait, why should we care about that, by the way?
Isn't that what America stands for? What does America stand for?
I mean, I never defended euthanasia on Piers Morgan either, so I think he's just being... Also, what does he mean, pro-abortion? What founding father wasn't pro-abortion, you fucking dingus? Not that they matter, ultimately, but like, these guys just have made up a fantasy in their minds of what it means to be like American and espouse American values and all this shit. And it's so fucking stupid because they're talking about an America that never existed. Benjamin Franklin wrote home remedies in a fucking math book about how to do abortions at home. This concept of like being anti-abortion is a relatively new phenomena in the American right. You have literally just like in your mind created a vision.
You hate what America stands for, not me.
I'm not even
and
saying...
in fact, all the studies show that immigrants actually are more patriotic than native-born Americans.
The only reason why, that's the Mexicans in LA right now burning it down, waving Mexican.
There's nothing more American than fucking revolt, okay? Suck my dick. There's nothing more American than wanting to defend your community against a fucking fascist authoritarian, unjustifiably bringing in, unconstitutionally, mind you, mask-wearing thugs to rip apart members of our fucking community from their homes at their place of business. Suck my fucking dick, okay? Go back to Amish Town, man. Go back to Pennsylvania, bitch. Why are you in front of magical cameras speaking? Go back to churning butter, Jedediah. Fuck you mean?
LA's being burned down?
Please don't send us back to the country that we're waving the flag of.
I've been in LA for a few days. I didn't see anything burned down.
Yeah, I know. The riots have ended. That's because Trump sent.
But if it's burned down, where's it all burned down? I haven't seen it. I've traveled around all of LA. You said LA was burned down. LA is 500 square miles. It's not a figure of speech, actually. It's another false claim of yours.
No, they're burning.
I support euthanasia. LA's burned to the ground.
Bro, just
immigrants hate what we stand for.
Okay, so
I'm super relaxed.
So you're pro-abortion.
But you're just saying one false thing after another.
So you're pro-abortion,
and I'm standing by my position. Immigrants are good for me.
You're pro-abortion. You're an immigrant.
I'm pro Roe v. Wade. Personally, I'm not pro-abortion. If you knew anything about me, you know.
Roe v. Wade is.
All right, pause. You've been voted out.
I was going to say nice to meet you, Brian, but I guess not. You made it.
Great to
Nice
see
to meet
you.
you.
My name is Cyrus.
Nice to meet you, Cyrus.
I am also son of 2 immigrants, came in legally. I'm also Persian descent.
Fantastic.
Born in LA.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Tehrangelis.
Yes, yes.
Tehrangelis.
Well, I am mainly upset, not at the immigrants, legal or not. I'm mainly upset at Wall Street. I'm mainly upset at the elites, the special interests.
I'm with you.
They are the main reason why we've been having this issue since 1965. And I understand most want to do well. There are a few bad apples, we can agree.
Okay.
But we want to go after the elites. They are the main cause of the problem.
Love it.
And just like
I'm with you.
healthcare, trade,
I'm with you.
everything.
Did you
it's
know,
the-
Cyrus, that the top 1% dodge $163 billion in taxes every year, while undocumented people pay $100 billion in tax? So
Well,
I know where my anger is against.
There are issues with our tax system on the rich, but in a state like California, some taxes are too high. I used to live here,
It's a
now I
different
live
debate.
in Las Vegas.
Different debate.
Okay.
I'm saying
but
immigration is good for
it
America.
depends on the
People
tax.
like you and me overall are good for America is what I'm
Okay,
saying.
but it depends on how it's done.
Yes.
It depends on how it's
And
done.
how it's been done for
so
the US as
I'm
well.
not blaming the housing crisis on immigrants,
No, and you'd be
not
wrong
on
too.
wages,
And you'd be
but
wrong too.
in a state like California that doesn't build enough homes
Yep.
and they're bringing immigrants in, you have to increase supply of housing.
agree.
Okay.
I agree.
But this is where our anger is at the political class.
I agree.
The Democrat Party used to have a different stance on immigration 15 years ago. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton.
I'm not a fan of that. I'm not here to defend different Democrats. What I will say
Okay,
is
well,
that,
that's our anger
What I will
at.
say is that everyone here actually does think immigration is good for America. Everyone here uses an iPhone designed by an immigrant, is on Gmail
Fair point.
designed by an immigrant, is is on a YouTube show.
But
you
this
guys
is-
all came to a YouTube show
Yeah.
founded by an immigrant. You wouldn't
Fair
be
point,
here.
but that's
if it
a
wasn't for
tiny
an immigrant.
minority,
So
though.
you all love immigrants, whether you like it or not.
Okay, but it is a taboo subject. Should we be concerned about the demographics? So,
no.
Anglo-Saxon, European American, 0% of America, it doesn't matter.
Are they 0% of America?
Well, let's say if it becomes 0%, it should not worry.
They're not going to. Why are you bringing weird hypotheticals?
But there has to. But I mean, they're still part of our country. There's culture. There's.
Yeah.
What do you? None of this matters, bro. You're doing it. You're doing that. Okay, you're Persian. Like you're Persian. What are you defending here? Who gives a fuck? Why does anybody care about this? Like, oh, my Anglo-American heritage is going away. What the fuck do you mean? You're American, okay? That's your heritage. You're American. That is what makes you different than everybody else. What the fuck is Anglo-American heritage, dude? Like, a lot of these guys end up without realizing. I mean, it's even funnier because he's fucking Persian. But like, they just make an argument against miscegenation because that's the only way you can prevent that from happening. You understand that, right? The only way you can prevent like whiteness going away is by literally making it illegal to race mix. Because whiteness is a concept that is created around racial purity, okay? Proximity to blackness and I guess whoever else you consider to be like lesser than white.
I mean, even Britain, like,
I mean,
it
America's gone
concerns
through
me.
many
But
demographic
it
waves,
concerns me when Britain is changing
Britain is-
and it's, you know, it's like
Britain's
they're
been
losing their
changing for
culture.
years.
But it's
Who said
losing
they're
their
losing
culture.
Who
Are
says
they?
so?
Are they going to try to?
I'm
what
from
are
the
they
UK.
gonna-
I'm telling you, no one's losing their culture in the UK.
London is going to be very little British in
Who
one
says
day. What's the plan? That's what we want to know. What's the
You
plan?
just made that up. Have you been
But
to London?
how do we know?
Cyrus, have you been to London?
No.
So then maybe you shouldn't comment on places you don't know anything about.
But what's the plan?
I grew up in London.
What's
London's
the
a very
general
British
plan?
city. I was in London a few weeks ago.
Okay.
It's a very British
I
city.
hope not. I understand that there are people in this audience that don't like me or you in this
Yeah,
country,
they want
and
us
I
to leave.
respect that. There's some.
Why are white boys so fucking open about their racism? Like, why are there dudes in the audience that are like, hell yeah, I don't want any of you motherfuckers here? Yo, they should not feel this safe, I think, under any circumstance. What's going on? Wokes, we gotta pick up the slack here, Wokes. What are we doing here? What the fuck is this shit? Woke is back. I think we need to remind people that woke is back. This is crazy.
That don't even want me to date a blonde woman. They want to keep to their own, or ginger or whatever. I respect that, but there has to be a deal made. There's Idaho, there's Montana. They can go live in a homogeneous society. I don't believe in force, okay? And I believe that there has to be a deal made. And I think there.
Dude, what is this guy saying? Bro, you're brown. You're browner than me, motherfucker. What is this guy saying? Hello? There are dudes back there who unironically are like, no, get the fuck out, actually. What is this argument that is like, well, there's too much. There's too much migration. Like, after me, we're done. Is that what it is? Like, he's like, it's done. We have too many fucking Persians in the country. Is that what he's saying? God, I am fascinated with like how diverse the racist movement has gotten. You know that meme where it's like, racists don't give a fuck what you are as long as you're racist racist as fuck. I feel like that's happening more and more every day. Except they do give a fuck if you're, you know, black or brown and racist. They just like are just kind of saying like, good. Keep saying the things I want you to say for now.
There's upsides and downsides to diversity.
There's a deal made. People have elections. They vote for elections. And right now, there's Donald Trump in the White House. Not someone I support, but people voted for him.
Well, why did he get in mainly? Because we had 2016.
Not sure we have time to get into that. There's
Bernie Sanders. Okay.
Part of the reason he got in is that people in this room want people like me and you to leave, and they voted for him to try and make that happen.
I'm not surprised. One of the Charlottesville marchers doesn't like me, and I've met those people, and I respect their views.
You really shouldn't.
Well, they're wants.
Huh? Bro, he thinks your existence on U.S. soil is polluting the gene pool. Why do you respect that? I think you should just respect yourself a little bit. Like, what? I respect the Nazi's Nazi attitude, even though he doesn't respect me. I respect that he wants me dead. What is happening here? How can someone be this cucked? A feral animal has better self-preservation skills than this fucking dumbass here, okay?
Respect racists and fascists is my advice to you.
Well, they have their preferences, you know. That's just, we can't change that.
Actually, we can, which is why I tried to come here today, but anyways.
All right, that's time. Please return to your seat.
Thank you. Nice to meet you,
Great
Cyrus.
pleasure.
Good. This was the best one. My final claim is that Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing.
I saved the last part. Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing. For today, I watched the first part yesterday. We're going to finish this quickly, and we're going to move on.
Hey,
I'm
how are
Sarah.
you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. So why do you say this is Donald Trump's plan? Why do you think that?
I mean, he says it's his plan. Have you seen his plan?
When
Have you
did
heard
he
his plan?
say it?
He said it standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu in January, February. He said it on Fox News in an interview on Fox. He said it on Air Force One when he was chatting to reporters.
Word for word, what's an example of what he said?
Word for word, he said, for example, we're going to clean out the Gaza Strip. He said they're going to leave. We're going to take control of it. He says, we'll own it. I would own it. He says, I'm not sure under international law how he can own a foreign piece of land. And when he was asked on Fox News, the people, the Palestinians who are being forced to leave, would they be able to come back? He said, no, they wouldn't. That is the literal definition of ethnic cleansing, according to a UN definition of ethnic cleansing.
Why do you think that Trump is saying this? Do you think that he has some personal interest in cleansing Gaza, or do you think there might be some special interest group or perhaps religious or ethnic group that's, you know, that maybe he received money from them and that's the whole reason why he wants to cleanse Gaza? Or why do you think that is?
I don't do Donald Trump's motivations. I really don't care. My claim is that what he's doing is ethnic cleansing.
Well,
do you agree with that?
I would actually, probably agree, but I'm just...
You agree that it's ethnic cleansing? You agree with doing ethnic cleansing?
No, I don't agree with it, but I agree that's probably his plan. But I'm trying to figure out, like, why do you think that is? Because...
Oh, yeah, I forgot. These guys are like fascist right. So a big chunk of them are going to be anti-Israel, but also in an anti-Semitic fashion. Because remember, they have no issues whatsoever with the ethnic cleansing of the entire migrant population here in the United States of America. So clearly that's not something that they're against. It's always funny to me that like Nazis sometimes come across as like jealous of Israel, because Zionism is also a Nazi style ideology, is a fascist ideology. It always feels like they're just jealous that Israel gets to do it for Jews, or at least their claim is, right? But they don't get to do it for white people here in America. I mean, some of these neo-Nazis are honest about that. Like Richard Spencer, who famously is pro-Israel and says, we just want to do Israel here in America.
Donald Trump's a white man. He identifies as Christian. I'm not sure if he really is. But what interest does he have in preserving a Jewish ethno-state? Like, why would he have that?
It's a good question. You'd have to ask Donald Trump that question. I've got multiple views. I'm sure you have many views. I'm not sure I like where you're going with your views, but I think Donald Trump is definitely someone who's got financial interests in ethnic cleansing. He's got political interests. He loves the evangelical voters he gets. A lot of Christian evangelicals like to support Israel because they think Jesus will come back if all the Jews are gathered in one place with no Palestinians. I think he's going to make money, he thinks, from beachfront property with Jared Kushner. He said something similar in the past.
You think that's the real reason?
I think there's multiple reasons.
Thank you,
I think
SN
financial,
Palavan,
geopolitical,
for the 25
ideological,
gifted.
evangelical. I don't even care. My claim is that what he's doing is ethnic cleansing. Ethnic cleansing is a war crime according to the Fourth Geneva Convention.
Yeah, I agree.
It's against international law under the Rome Statute. So we shouldn't be part of that. The United States should not be supporting Donald Trump's plan for ethnic cleansing.
I agree.
Good.
What do you think? What do you think should be done instead with the Israel-Gaza situation? I'm not sure what your stance is on this.
I would like to see a ceasefire in Gaza.
Two-state
I would like to
solution
see. I don't really get into debates about what solutions. I would like to see an end to the killing. I would like to see Gazans have freedom. I would like to see the Palestinians in Gaza somehow get their land back. 80% of Gaza right now is under Israeli military control or displacement. I would like to see freedom for the Palestinian people. I'm an American. To go back to the core of this show, I support American values. One person, one vote, free speech.
It really is a religious and ethnic battle.
It is not a religious battle.
Well, yes,
No, it's
that
not.
is what it's obviously
it's
between
not.
Jews and Muslims.
No,
both
it's
want
not.
control of the Holy Land.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
What else? What other?
Actually, the founders of Israel were secular. They were not religious, actually. And I think some religious Jews, like Bezalel Smotrich, who's the Israeli government minister,
religious, it doesn't really matter.
is a religious fanatic.
My point is,
the core of the conflict is over land. It's colonial. It's
fine,
historic. It is not about
but
religion.
Colonialism is for a reason.
The
like,
people who want to steal the
Jews
land want everyone to believe it's
My
religious.
point is, why are we sitting here? Why are we sitting here? It's like a false dichotomy where we have to argue, like, do Jews get Israel? Do Muslims get Israel? Why are we?
I've never brought up anyone's religion.
How many of us?
I didn't bring up anyone's religion.
How many of us here are Christians?
I didn't bring up anyone's religion.
Trying to pick sides between Jews and Muslims taking over Israel. Like, don't you think that?
Hold on. First of all, I didn't bring up religion. Second of all, you know that a lot of Palestinians are Christian, right?
Some of them.
You're just reducing it to Muslim versus Jew.
Dude, this in and of itself is like also an insane thing that I hear more and more from the right is that, like, oh, by the definition of being Israel's enemy, Palestinians are just like automatically considered Muslim. Because otherwise, if the supposedly Christian dominionist right were to recognize the Christianity of the Palestinian population, then automatically they would have to like offer unconditional support. But once again, as you saw with that Catholic from yesterday when we were watching the same fucking video, the one that looks like a Amish person, they will turn around and say like, oh, we actually love Catholicism. I'm a Catholic nationalist or whatever. But then he's like, but the Catholics that are coming from the southern border need to leave immediately because there is the only through line that holds all of this ideology together is pure tribalism, pure racism. That's all it is. It's white supremacy. They're just trying to repackage it in a way that makes it, permissible to say, makes it less inappropriate. But that's it. It's just whiteness that's holding it together.
So it's majority Muslim, yeah. It's very.
But there are many.
I agree. Yeah, but there's not that many.
So it's not worth reducing everything to religion.
Well, it is the reason. Why do you think Iran is backing proxies that want to take over Gaza and back the terrorism in Gaza? It's obviously because they want to Muslim control of the land. You don't think that's why?
No, I don't think it's about religion. I've been following this conflict for decades. It's not about religion. People who say it's about religion, it's a distraction.
Well, it's a big part of it, I think.
No, it's not. You don't know anything. It's a big part of it, I think, is bullshit. No, of course religion is not a big part of it. It's just about land acquisition, man. What the fuck? The craziest part about it is that so many dumb people say this. Like, even people in this community have repeated this fucking idiotic lie over and over and over again. You're just eating the propaganda.
A big part of it. It's been weaponized by bad faith actors, sure. But I don't think that's the core. The core is that one group of people are dominating another group of people.
What group of people is it? But what group of people is dominating another group of people?
One ethnic group is dominating another ethnic group.
What ethnic group?
Jewish people.
Yes, dominating.
Arabs.
Yes.
But I didn't say anything about Christian, Muslim, Jew in a religious sense.
Okay,
Jews defined as religion and ethnicity. You know that, right?
Well, why do you think that Muslims want control of the Holy Land?
You keep saying Muslims. I didn't bring up Muslims.
Well, they're Muslim states. Like, what do you think?
She does not understand that Judaism is an ethno-religious group and that there are many different sects under Judaism, ethnic sects under Judaism, some of which were also created later on to make a distinction between Arab Jews and Arab Muslims and Arab Christians, as a matter of fact, because Judaism in and of itself is a religion, but Zionism is a fascist ideology that relies on Jewish supremacy, Jewish supremacist thought. That's like one of the easiest ways to understand this, by the way. Literally, in Israel, you literally have a shit ton of Arab Jews, but they're not considered Arab. They're considered Jews. I wonder why. It's a bit reductive to say religion has no part in here. No, religion is just a justification to garner support. Please, dude. Do you think the fucking conquistadors colonized Latin America because of religious reasons? Do you think the people were actually engaging in like a religious conquest? Or do you think that the goal was land acquisition? Shut up. I said it wrong. I know. It's an extraction of natural resources. It's a land grab. It's to enslave the indigenous population. Religion is simply used as a righteous cause to galvanize the public and to massage the attitude towards just like constantly engaging in these sorts of barbaric affairs. That's it.
I think like Iran wants to do with
the Holy
Land. But that's part of the conversation. What do you mean?
No, it's not. The conversation is Donald Trump is doing ethnic cleansing, and you agree with me. So I'm not sure why you're still here, to be honest.
It's part of the larger context.
It's a weird
of the
debate when you actually agree with me.
What I was trying to say is we kind of have this false dichotomy here where we're trying to take the side of the Gazans, which mostly it's a Muslim majority, or the side of the Jews to try to decide who gets control over Israel.
I didn't say about control. I said don't ethnically cleanse.
America is a majority Christian country. Should we be
like here? Someone said American fascism is using the Great Replacement as their justification. Again, that's not real. The Great Replacement is not real. Or the economic fallout of World War I, which was the national scar that Germany withstood, is not the same as the Holocaust, okay, which is systematic ethnic cleansing, like a machine of ethnic cleansing of an entire population. That's the difference. That's why I'm saying that, like, the major difference between Zionism, its inception, and its endless justification is that there is an actual fucking point of real barbaric cruelty that Zionists can always point to in defense of Israel. You have to understand this, because this will help you better address those talking points.
Deciding Christians should have control of the
I agree.
Holy
Donald
Land?
Trump should not, nothing to do with religion. Donald Trump should not be deciding what happens to Gaza. That's my claim. If you agree with me, great, let's shake hands, give the seat to someone who disagrees with me.
So are you saying, do you think that America should just cut ties with Israel altogether?
What's your definition of cut ties?
Like stop funding them, stop being their military arm?
Yes,
okay,
I'm on
great.
record saying
okay.
That was an easier debate. Whoa, welcome back, Richie. You really want to be here?
First of all, I really thought that obviously where we started, where it ended up, there's a lot of aggression. I can see in your eyes there's a level of exhaustion from being here. This is where my empathy comes in. Where it doesn't is, when you have a room full of people that do agree with you, we have this opportunity to come together. And you're kind of mocking people when they do. So you mocked Sarah a little bit when you guys clearly had a common interest and goal to reach. So I can tell you're agitated. I want to bring that all down, please.
I'm guessing you're not going to, but let's see.
No, I'm going to. I do want to point out some contradictions. First and foremost, I don't believe you're pro-American in the value system that you claim to uphold.
Dude, the point is Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing. Just stick to the fucking prompt. Am I wrong to be concerned that we're on the same side as these freaks on the Israel issue? No, because they exhibit a lot of similarities to the fucking pro-Israel side as well. Ironically enough, they are closer in ideology to Zionists than they are to anti-Zionists, okay? Many of these people, especially these guys, okay? They don't actually hate fascism. They love fascism. They openly say they're fascists. They're just jealous that Israel gets to do fascism with our dollars. They're jealous that Israel gets to do fascism, and they think the advocacy groups for Israel here are not allowing them to do fascism. This is something that Visegrad directed at the head of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, in their interview in a positive manner. He literally was like, well, you guys have a ethnic protection. You protect your own culture. You protect Jews. And we applaud you for doing that. But why do you here in the Western world attack whites for wanting to do the same? That's literally a question that was directed at Jonathan Greenblatt, which he had no real answer for. He was like, well, because those guys kind of hate Jews as well. These motherfuckers don't care about saving Palestinians. They do not care about freeing Palestinians. They simply hate Jews, and they're using the greatest off-ramp of all time to make Israel's crimes the crime of all Jews around the world. And the reality of the matter is, Israel loves that. Israel allows it to happen. Israel is also literally saying, no. These things that we're doing, we are doing for all Jews. So in that way, they're no different. In that way, that's why I always say, like, this is no different than what Jake Tapper is saying. The only difference is Jake Tapper finds contextualization and justification for Israel's crimes. These guys do not. They're anti-Israel. But the underlying premises that they're operating off of are fucking identical. Do you get it?
Especially with free speech, if you're not willing to debate people that don't share your values. That's very un-American.
Do you believe Donald Trump's plan for Gaza is ethnic cleansing?
I don't believe it's ethnic cleansing, but I because it's not his plan.
It is his plan. He said it's my plan.
No, he's
Benjamin Netanyahu called it his plan.
He is obeying someone else's plan.
Okay. Who is he obeying?
He is obeying Israel's plan.
Okay.
Yeah, this is cope, okay? This is pure Nazi cope. The idea that my big, beautiful, based, secret Jew hater Donald Trump is actually doing the bidding of the Jewish state because he's being blackmailed is just cope. These guys cannot comprehend that Donald Trump does not give a shit, just like they don't, about Palestinians or Arabs or Muslims or Christians or anybody that's being fucking slaughtered in the hands of Israel. And that there must be some secret reason as to why he is defending Israel non-fucking stop. That's it. It's because they do not want to acknowledge that Donald Trump loves what Israel is doing, okay? And liberals also do this too. Liberals do the whole Brandon is actually really forcing Israel to stop, but Israel is just simply not budging. It's just the liberal version of that same cope. Both of these administrations actually like what Israel is doing. They do not hate what Israel is doing, because if they hated what Israel was doing, they would stop it.
For the Greater Israel Project, of which this is one of those things that we can agree on.
Why is he doing it?
Why is he doing that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they have something on him. Maybe they have something on all
But
Americans.
you think it's a bad thing what he's doing?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
no,
That's
that's
why.
They have something on him. They have something on him. There's a crumb of truth hidden there as well, of course, which is that Mossad and the CIA have engaged in sexual blackmail. So that's a part of the reason why they can just get away with saying shit like that. And it perfectly ties back to the Epstein stuff anyway. But what's interesting about it, that also means Donald Trump is a bad person. This is the thing that I don't understand with pro-Trump people who are like, well, I want him to release the Epstein files, but he's being blackmailed. And that's why he can't release the Epstein files. It's okay, that means he's a pedophile. You're saying you like this guy who is a pedophile, but he's your pedophile? What does this mean? This is why what Alex Jones was saying in defense of Donald Trump made no fucking sense.
I agree with you.
But see, I don't want to shut down
I'm
the
not mocking
conversation.
you, I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, perfect. But I want to take this opportunity, because I don't know if I'm going to get the opportunity again, to say, you're not American. First and foremost, but you're not.
Remember what I said? The agitation from you is not going to be lower.
What I'm saying,
you came to lower the temperature and then make racist remarks. You know that's a racist remark.
It's not racist.
You tell an American citizen.
But perfect.
This guy won't even talk about Israel. He's just yeah, we agree on Israel, but you're not an American. Okay, dude, shut up. It doesn't matter. He sucks to suck. Okay.
Perfect. You just proved your own point.
Go on.
You just said that was a racist position.
Yes.
Now you're.
I can't stand this motherfucker. He's like a crybaby, dude. Oh God, me. You have an accent.
Using the
genocide.
Wish we could have.
You just don't like the color of my skin.
We're having a different
All right,
conversation.
Also Canadian. That motherfucker's Canadian too. The blonde one was Canadian. The blonde lady was Canadian too.
We're having a different
Pause.
conversation.
All right, you've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Okay. I really wish we could have asked.
I mean, you believe in white genocide, so it's very hard to.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Hello. So, I'll switch over to the Gaza thing in a second, but first off, I just wanted to touch on that. You said that you support free speech, of course, right? So, what I'm confused about is you've refused to debate people that I've disagreed with you because you.
Okay. He said the white race is being genocided. I don't. Why are these guys so fucking? They just stay on the premise, man. You don't debate people that disagree with you. He's literally sitting in front of 20 fascists. What are you talking about? He is clearly doing that.
Kick out all the people.
Also, that's the one thing you can't say about Mehdi Hassan is that he doesn't debate people who disagree with him. That's literally the thing he does the most. That is what he is known for.
So everyone here has hygiene standards, as do you. There are people you wouldn't debate, I'm sure, as well.
Okay. So, can you please describe why you think Trump is supporting ethnic cleansing of Gaza just because he wants to take over the land there? How does that equate to killing them?
Not just take over the land. Kick out all the people. That is the definition of ethnic cleansing.
So, isn't ethnic cleansing killing people? Because it seems like you're.
No, you can ethnic cleanse people without killing them. And by the way, they have been killed. More than 50,000 people in Gaza have been killed by the Israelis, by people like Bezalel Smotrich, who said recently, the finance minister of Israel, we are going to Gaza to conquer, cleanse, and remain. we're going to annihilate the place. We're going to disassemble Gaza, he said. We're going to leave it behind as piles of rubble. That's the guy Trump's funding, supporting. That's the guy praising Trump. So yes, Trump and Smotrich are ethnically cleansing Gaza.
I cannot deny that thousands of people are dying in Gaza, but you need to realize, why are they dying? Is it possibly that they're attacking another country?
No,
just
the
because
people who are
Israel
dying were not attacking another country.
Just because Israel is killing more Gazans than Gazans are killing Israel doesn't mean Gaza is righteous and Israel is evil.
I never said anything about evil or righteous.
Israel
I said ethnic cleansing. You said don't they have to be killed. I said they are being killed, and the criteria for what's happening to them. If Donald Trump says these people have to leave and never come back, is that not ethnic cleansing? What is your definition of ethnic cleansing?
I would think ethnic cleansing is when you're killing off a large part of an ethnic group.
That's genocide. You're confusing your...
It's ethnic cleansing. I mean, Israel's doing a genocide, for the record. It's not just doing ethnic cleansing.
Ethnic cleansing is removing one ethnic group using a deliberate policy by violence or terror-inspiring means to remove another population, another ethnic group from a certain geographic area. That's the UN definition of ethnic cleansing. That is what he's doing. When he was asked Donald Trump, can they come back? He said, no, they cannot. That is ethnic. I've heard all these. We've had people talk about white genocide today. You guys are nationalists. How would you feel if somebody came, a president of France came and told you to leave your land and not come back? Would you not feel you'd been ethnically cleansed from your home?
From America?
Yeah.
Well, because my ancestors were settlers here, not immigrants. They actually
Palestinians are not immigrants in Gaza. They are indigenous people to the land.
Didn't Israel just give Gaza the land like a few decades ago?
No.
I'm pretty sure Israel used to.
Lord, for one day, give me the confidence of this fucking pimple face white boy. For one day, the things that I would do. God damn, dude. These motherfuckers are just like, how? How can you be so confident in your stupidity? It makes no sense. You don't know anything. You just put on a fucking suit and tie and you're like, nah, I'm about to cook, dude. Didn't Israel give Gazans the land?
Have that land.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong. They withdrew from 2005 from the land, but control the air.
And they gave it to them in 2005.
No, they don't give it to them. They control the air, the sea space, the borders, the population registry. They controlled what went in and out. It was a prison, an open air prison. That's not giving them freedom.
Don't they have a border with Egypt and then the Mediterranean Sea?
Yes, and the Israelis and Egyptians work together because Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Yes, they're funded by the United States. Did you know that Muslim countries do bad things too?
No, I know that they do bad things.
Okay, so we're in agreement.
All right, pause. You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I wonder why Egypt is the second largest recipient of military aid and aid across the board after Israel. Much to consider here. Being propped up as a fucking puppet state, specifically so that they can ensure that the Suez Canal is protected on both ends and that the Palestinians never have any opportunity to escape. Oh my God, Magic Man is back. Let's see.
Oh, wow. Great.
Hello, sir. Welcome back.
See you again, Mehdi. All right, so I agree that Trump wants to do a cleansing, but not an ethnic one, because that area requires a lot of cleansing. Because when you have a population that was taught from early childhood age to hate Jews, Christians.
Hell yeah. That's my goat, dude. He's doing magic. A lot of y'all don't see magic, okay? I do.
Christians and pagans. You need some serious re-education.
Number one, that's not true. And number two, that's not what he's proposing.
Well, I mean, most Palestinians, by a polling number, do support Hamas.
They support resisting Israel.
Well, I mean...
yeah, it's true. What are you going to say about that? Yeah. Damn, Mehdi. Okay, Mehdi, cook.
Because, what did they do in the first place that they're in this, what you call open-air prison?
Great question. What did they do to deserve being occupied?
Well, here's the thing. Because the Islamic Republic in Iran is using them as a tool.
What has Iran got to do with this?
As a tool for their Islamic expansion.
When did the Islamic...
First of all, they're Sunni. Like, what do you mean? They're Sunni. The Islamic Republic of Iran actually did hypnotize. They did mind control, Mehdi. Mind control of the Palestinian. That is how they learned to hate Israel's bombing campaigns. And President Trump is going to save them.
Hold on. When did the Islamic Republic of Iran... You're Iranian American,
yes.
I believe.
Yes, I am.
When was the Islamic Republic of Iran founded?
1979.
When was Gaza occupied by Israel?
Well, the very
67.
first time. 67, yeah.
So, can we do the maths together? 12 years before the Islamic Republic of Iran existed, Israel was oppressing, occupying, dispossessing the people of Gaza. So your argument makes no sense.
Were there any terrorist organizations at the time?
The PLO was considered a terrorist organization by the entire Western world.
All right, so was Hamas there?
Hamas did not exist till 1980.
Was Hamas there? No, Hamas wasn't there. Hamas did not exist. Were they eating Kubi Day? This guy's awesome.
Exactly. My point is, after the Islamic Republic came, it became chaotic because the Islamic Republic has started to use.
Wait, this guy's like, I don't get it. He thinks that like the PLO was treated differently than Hamas. Is that what he thinks? Because they were treated exactly the same as Hamas.
What's the so-called innocent Palestinians for their own
So-called innocent Palestinians? You don't think Palestinians are innocent?
Not all of them.
But what about the 17,000 children who were killed?
They're doing the
17,000 children were killed. Were they not innocent? Were they not innocent?
Who's responsible for that?
Israel, who dropped the bombs on
Hamas
them.
is responsible. Hamas is responsible for hiding in hospitals and making tunnels underneath
So
those
when
hospitals.
children are shot in the head by Israeli snipers not responsible for that?
Look,
it's a simple question.
Here's the problem.
When Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in Gaza in the head, as eyewitness testimony and doctors' testimony proves, that's not the fault of the Israeli snipers.
This is the problem, because when you have a
problem is you won't answer the question. I'll ask you a third time. When Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in the head, is that not the fault of Israeli snipers?
Well, you gotta let me finish.
No, you gotta answer the question. Fourth time.
Well,
when Israeli
I will
snipers
get to
shoot
your answer.
Palestinian children in the head,
I will get to your
we're running
answer.
out of time. I need to know what you think about innocent children.
Because I will
what
get
you
your-
said was pretty outrageous. You said
I will
so-called
get to your answer.
innocent Palestinians. For the fifth time, when Palestinian children are shot in the head by Israeli snipers,
What
is that
did-
not the fault of Israeli
What did those
snipers?
children do?
What did
they
you
do?
tell me? Did the children deserve to be shot in the head?
Because the problem is,
you know,
over there,
millions of people are watching you say
they
to
start
justify the-
brainwashing.
Yeah, this is so bad. Here is Al-Reza Talakubnejad. I do think that we're moving in a direction where in a few years, basically zero natural-born Americans will buy the standard boomer AIPAC talking points. They hate us more than they love their children. Israel only democracy. Arab countries are all savage, etc. And it will literally just become some right-wing Iranians and other third world immigrant groups. Most American Jews I know are liberal and souring on all this quite fast. Evangelicals aren't as powerful as they were 30 years ago either. You're about to see the most diverse group of Israel defenders. Also, this guy said third world immigrant groups is fucking hilarious. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. That's a real thing. They do this with like some reactionary, some of the more reactionary elements within like New Zealand as well, where they'll go and like find a group of Maori people and there'll be like fucking weirdly super pro-Israel and super Islamophobic. They'll also do this with like Native American groups as well.
Children. They start brainwashing children at a very young age.
So you support
same-
sniping children in Gaza?
Look,
do other people here support sniping children in Gaza? Is that a conservative position now?
What if they're wearing a suicide vest?
They weren't.
But what if they are?
They're not, though.
What if the babies are wearing suicide vests? Okay, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, what if the baby had a button in his hand and then the button was actually nukes directed at Tel Aviv? What then, huh? What now, liberal? Like, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? What is this? Is not how you argue. Why is it that whenever these guys even try to entertain a conversation, they literally just go for the most childlike way of debating, which is, what if this impossible thing was actually the case instead of the reality that you are suggesting? I'm not Mr. Don't use hypotheticals or analogies, but if you're gonna use an analogy, you have to make sure that it has some basis in reality and it has to be comparable. Like a comparison between Adolf Hitler and Benjamin Netanyahu is perfectly apt because of the underlying fascist ideology that motivates both of these parties and because of their actions. Adolf Hitler doing the Holocaust, Benjamin Netanyahu doing the modern iteration of the Holocaust to the Palestinian population. These are comparable instances, which is why it's a perfectly apt analogy. And if you have a disagreement on that, you can actually try to tackle the underlying comparison that I'm making, right? You could say, I don't appreciate this analogy. Here is why. Okay, that's how you're supposed to debate. You're supposed to say, I don't appreciate this analogy because, here's a stupid argument you could present. You could say, well, Adolf Hitler killed 6 million Jews, whereas Benjamin Netanyahu has only killed, 100,000 Palestinians, right? Like, oh, the numbers are not comparable or something. That's a bad argument to make. And there's plenty of fucking counters that you can present against that as well. But that's how you're supposed to do back and forth communication. That's how you're supposed to debate. These guys don't do that, where they go, oh, you asked me a question about Israel sniping a child in the head. What if that child had an RPG directed at the Israeli sniper rifle? And what if that child also simultaneously had a nuclear bomb strapped to its chest and was entering the Gaza envelope to detonate itself right in the middle of Tel Aviv. What if then? What now? Then you have to snipe the child, right? What if you had to snipe the child? That is a fucking insane argument to make because it has no basis in reality. Like, that's not, like, you can't have a conversation like that because the alternative is like, what if the child didn't have the nukes?
What if children? I have friends who went there, doctors went to Gaza, American doctors. They came back as we had multiple children.
What if
with
they're
gunshot
hell-bent?
shots.
What if they're
What if
hell-bent
they're
on
not?
killing you and your family?
A 10-year-old child, an 8-year-old child, a 6-year-old child.
Because
this is
like
bad
I said,
for you.
Like
You're
said,
sitting on
they're
live
brainwashing
television
them. They're
where millions of people are going to see your neighbors, your
because
friends.
then millions
you
of
support
people,
the killing of
millions
children.
of people don't know what's going on.
Even your fellow right-wingers are saying, don't go this far. White genocide, sure, but don't advocate
millions of
killing
people
kids.
don't understand the brainwashing that is going on in Islamic Republic and in Palestine to create
You're
this
obsessed
hatred.
with Iran so much that you're supporting the killing of Palestinian children who never harmed you or any other Israeli. That's insane.
Look.
And the fact that you support Trump's ethnic cleansing now doesn't surprise me.
I didn't say ethnic cleansing. I said cleansing of the land.
All right, pause.
Because you need to cleanse the land from all the
Slobodan Milosevic said similar stuff.
You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
How you doing? Good to see you again.
I'm good seeing you too, man. First thing I'm going to say is I'm not down for Israel. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to say. And I don't like when you come up here and you use the type of rhetoric that you do. You talk like all of these like left-wing positions, and then you go to the last part, which is I don't support ethnic cleansing in Palestine. I think you're doing a huge disservice to pro-Palestinians when you start allying yourself with all these progressives. I don't think it looks good because you have all these conservatives in here who oppose war. They oppose.
Let me tell you, a Muslim man who has spent his entire career in broadcasting, defending Palestinians, how you're supposed to defend Palestinians appropriately. You're doing a disservice, sir. Does he think fascists have an exclusive claim to anti-war sentiment? I think so. I think he's gonna tell Mehdi Hassan that he needs to be anti-Semitic to successfully argue against Israel.
Intervention in the same tradition of Pat Buchanan and all the greats that came before
Not Donald
him.
Trump, though, sadly.
Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. I do agree. I mean, he ran on an anti-war ticket. He said he was going to. I didn't.
Because he lies, right?
You gonna let me talk, or you just want to? Yeah, true. So, I mean, yeah, you keep going back to Trump. I don't think this is part of his plan. I think this is a plan of lobbyists. And this is not just unique to Trump. It's been a thing since the Democrats. It's been a thing since the Republicans before him. It's been like this since Truman. I don't know if you read like John Mearsheimer's The Israel Lobby or anything like that. Would you agree or disagree with anything like that?
Oh, I agree with Stephen Walt and John Mearsheimer, yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. So I'm just warning when you ally yourself with...
How do these guys hate Jews, but then they're like, but John Mearsheimer is one of the good ones? Is that what it is? Like, how does that work for these guys? They're doing Jewish tricks, except for John Mearsheimer, who also is Jewish. It's like David Duke voting for Jill Stein. Oh, it's awesome. None of it makes sense. Okay, let's continue.
All these leftists, and you come up here and you argue for immigration. You argue up here that, Trump's this bad criminal and this and that, and then you
think Trump's bad too?
I think he's good on some questions and bad on other things, but let me get to the point here, is you ally yourselves with guys like, Jewish Voices for Peace and all those guys.
Great people.
Yeah, not really though.
Why?
Because they're self-interested in it.
They're not. By definition,
it says it on their homepage.
By definition, they're not self-interested, right? They're going against their own
Are you
community.
going to let me talk? On their homepage, it literally says that we are here to segregate Judaism from Zionism. It's very clear they're doing this in their own interest. That's why it literally says Jewish Voices for Peace. They're going to be the good Jews who say that we don't support Palestine. And then what happens is you take all these progressives, you go out there and LARP in the street, and then everyone here who's conservative, they're going to vote for the pro-war candidate because they don't want to be associated with all the liberals.
So you're forced to vote for pro-war people. Poor
It's either that or get replaced in my country. What do you want me to do?
Oh, you and your replacement bullshit.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
You're going to be the first one that goes to the promised land? Does watching this serve any purpose? Like, these are the most hateful and dumbest racist shits ever, and listening to this debate is reactionary? As I said yesterday, and since then, in the last 2 days, this has accrued 4.6 million views. At this point, cat's out of the fucking bag, okay? It deserves to be addressed for the purpose of, like, mass use.
Oh, wow. There's 3 people so far. Let's keep counting. We should be nicer to you, otherwise you'll deport us. What a great argument. This is the free speech debate camp. It's not your country, my friend. It's our country, whether you like it or not.
Why does Mehdi Hasan put himself through this? He's constantly getting hate crimed and getting called slurs. Will you ever debate actual neo-Nazis like this? No, because this is an utterly unproductive conversation. And I'm pretty certain that Mehdi Hasan, if he knew that he was going to be talking to like people who are openly neo-Nazis and like openly fascists, he probably would have said no to this. You got to understand something. I know that he was blindsided. I already talked to him about this. He thought, I'm pretty sure he talked to Sam Cedar ahead of time, and Sam was like, well, there was like some positive aspects of going on Jubilee, you know, you get your name out there, stuff like that. But Jubilee has farmed the depths of the Nazi well so hard at this point that these are people who are just like openly being like, I am a fucking neo-Nazi. Like, that's crazy. As a crazy fucking person. It is about as productive as like talking to, people hallucinating, like a bunch of people who are unfortunately going through like a schizophrenic attack, exhibiting delusions and paranoia.
I thought Kai he smiled, he laughed, we disagreed. I felt like it was good faith. Let's see.
I appreciate it, Matty.
He seemed to be in good faith. He seems kind of smart. And, he's one of the few people who doesn't want to deport me. Or maybe not. We're going to find out.
My claim is we should get rid of birthright citizenship.
Why do you want to get rid of birthright citizenship, and how, by the way? Because you know it's in the Constitution. I'm so glad you brought this up.
Yes.
Because it was one of my...
The 14th.
14th. I mentioned it to a bunch of your friends, and nobody wanted to engage in the 14th.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the 14th Amendment,
Exactly.
the Citizenship Clause, which says that if you're born here, you're a citizen of the United States.
Yes. I chose this because it's an extension of the original debate and the immigration debate.
Okay.
I think birthright citizenship, first of all, when it was originally argued, among the people who were actually voting on the clause, right? It was argued that the birthright citizenship was not automatically extended to everybody who was just born here. And we have a long history of that as well, for example, with the Native Americans, who had particular laws that applied solely to them.
Yep.
What I think we're seeing in this country is not everybody is so similarly under the jurisdiction thereof of the United States, right? And by allowing for birthright citizenship and not interpreting the Constitution as we're legally allowed to and restrict, the automatic citizenship of anybody who's born here, we actually remove the issue, for example, of family separation, because there is no incentive of a family to come over to this country illegally and then have a child, which is contributing to the awful situation we have in America of breaking up families. This is not something that I imagine you or I agree with.
No.
The issue is birthright citizenship has incentivized that.
So even if I were to concede that in some cases birthright citizenship has incentivized that, I don't like the phrase anchor babies, but I'm not naive enough to pretend that there are not immigrants who come here and time the pregnancy in order to get. Of course, you and I can agree on that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you then rip up a constitutional principle that goes back centuries, goes back before the 14th Amendment. 14th Amendment came about, I think, in 1868, if memory serves me correctly. But the principle underlying it is actually from my other country, the UK, ancient English common law, right?
Now, the reason why you don't, I don't even think that there needs to be any sort of defense of this on constitutional grounds or common law or anything like that. It's super simple. Does this harm America in any way, shape, or form? If the answer is no, then why would you change it? As a matter of fact, it not only doesn't harm the United States of America, it actually helps the United States of America keep a younger population. It's not about the Constitution. I don't care about the Constitution. Disagree, constitutional argument is very crucial. I care about it only as far as it's a fucking appropriate line of defense among constitutional scholars so that the Supreme Court doesn't fuck the bag up. But ultimately, the reasons why I think birthright citizenship is good is because it is good. It's because it actually keeps the American population youthful. It's the way that it will change or stay. No, I understand that. That's why I'm saying the constitutional argument is only as good as it is useful. But the real reason why is because who gives a fuck about the Constitution? What you're supposed to do is what's best for America. What you're supposed to do is what's best for everyone involved. It's a useful tool. It should be just a means to an end and not the end in and of itself. Because the Second Amendment in its modern interpretation has been incredibly dangerous for American welfare, for American safety. It should be reinterpreted. It should be readjusted or outright thrown out, because I care about public welfare than I do about holding on to whatever kind of fucking interpretation we've decided now is the appropriate way to interpret the Second Amendment. That's it.
So this was always the case. The 14th Amendment, as you know, because you seem well read, came along and codified what was already a principle in American and English law, that if you're born in the country, you are a citizen. Now, you mentioned the point about jurisdiction. There is that little bit in there where it says subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That in the debate, if you go back and read the debate that the senators had at the time, they were very explicit that that was to do with foreign ministers and foreign ambassadors, diplomats living in embassies. Their kids shouldn't be citizens. Obviously, they're here on their own. You know, the Argentine embassy in DC is Argentine soil. Yeah? So we accept all that.
Absolutamente, amigo.
But when they were asked about Chinese immigrants, Senator Trumbull, who was
oh my God, is it motherfucker Argentinian? Oh my God. Yo, they are not beating the allegations, bro. It's not enough. It's not enough that Milei has like destroyed the country. These motherfuckers have to also turn around. Holy moly. People are saying grandfather was a literal Nazi. No, blonde people from Argentina are not always actually fucking direct descendants of Nazis that fucking escaped Nazi Germany after World War II. Argentina has more Italians than they do like what you would consider the native population. It has always been this way. There's a reason why the Nazis chose Argentina to escape to. One must question why. He could also be a Mormon that did a mission, to be fair.
I think the chair of the Judiciary Committee back in the 1860s during this debate, he said at the time, Chinese immigrants' children, they're citizens. In fact, 1898, as you well know, we get Wong Kim Ark, Supreme Court case, Wong Kim Ark versus the United States. And the Supreme Court says, yes, even the child of undocumented Chinese immigrants is an American citizen. So this is a principle going back centuries. So while I can agree with you that there are cases that abuse the 14th Amendment, that there are issues of family separation, I'm not going to rip up a constitutional principle that goes back centuries and is backed by a 127-year-old Supreme Court precedent because Donald Trump is looking for ways to cut the number of brown and black people in the United States.
If you don't mind me interrupting, this is where I think it's important as well to go back to what we talked about with the Constitution. When we're analyzing, and admittedly, I'm not as interested in the legal argument. There's obviously many ways to interpret the Constitution, but I don't think, especially among conservatives, that it is positive to use the Constitution to dismantle it. When we analyze the original context, like you were saying, in the late 19th century, our immigration law was absolutely different, including, you know, in respect with the Irish and Chinese immigrants that were coming over. It was absolutely...
Again, why? What is the reason? What is the reason? Are immigrants constituting a threat to American safety, American security? Are they a burden on the American economy? The answer to these questions they range from fuck no to of course not. So what is the reason why you want to purge? What is the reason why you want to purge the ranks of people that you consider to be immigrants that are less worthy of being here? That's it. He says yes, but it's not correct. There is guys, if you say yes to those, you have to answer why you think that is the case, which is ultimately arriving at the point that I was making. It's some other secretive reason as to why immigrants are constituting a threat to American safety. Because if they were to say immigrants are more likely to do crimes, that's wrong. There's information on this. It is the exact opposite. Undocumented, non-citizens, and documented non-citizens alike. If you add all immigrants into the fucking pile, the numbers don't even compare to the natural born US citizen crime rates, okay? The underlying reason as to why so many of these people have enmity towards migrants is just racism. That's it. They're just scared. They've been told that these guys are bad and wrong. Some people legitimately believe that. Some people know better and still make this argument because they just want to purge the ranks, basically make the gene pool clean and pure. Do you understand? That's it.
Different.
We had open borders, my friend. Some people in this room would hate it. We had open borders for half of American history.
Well, I don't think that's very true.
It's 100% true.
Well, hold on. If you're comparing the open borders, which I don't concede to, but if you're comparing the open borders prior to like 1910 and prior to the Hart-Celler Act, and you look at the amount of immigration and who was coming over.
Nice deflection. Amount is irrelevant. We did have an open border.
It is absolutely relevant.
Why?
Because the Constitution, like the founding fathers.
Hold on. Your argument is we had open borders, but there were fewer immigrants.
I was about to answer.
Okay.
It's important to analyze the context wherein these laws and parts of the Constitution arise. The original founding fathers said the Constitution was made only for immoral and religious people and is wholly inadequate to the government of any other, which means the people that wrote this document understood that it would not be able to properly...
Super secular people, but let's just be clear on that.
Oh, no, that's not true. They were deists.
A lot of them were super secular.
No, the majority were deists.
But they were secular. Secular doesn't mean atheist. You know what that means.
I understand that, but deist doesn't mean secular or atheist. It means they believe in a God, but not a God that's particularly present.
I didn't say anything about whether they're deists or theists. I said they're secular.
Okay, but secular
means you separate church and state.
Okay, well, let's talk. We could even talk about that. That's a perfect example.
You're going to run out of your own time making your argument, which you haven't made so far.
I understand, but the separation of church and state is now completely differently understood than originally proposed. Thomas Jefferson, who talks about the wall of separation, which doesn't even exist in the Constitution, understood it in a different way.
Supreme Court precedent, as you well know.
Yeah, sure, but the precedent of the last 100 years, wherein the country has been completely different from its founding, should not overrule the original intent of the people who wrote the document that you and I are both citing.
Okay.
Which means,
but I'm not locked into what the people who wrote that. We've had amendments to the Constitution. You know that, right?
I understand that,
okay.
And this is our fundamental disagreement:
yes.
is that I don't believe
you think you could read the minds of people in the 1770s.
That's not true.
And I'm stuck.
I just believe this country ought to be more like the country we originally had, and I don't think
that's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
I understand that,
but there's a factual basis to it.
Well, let me try to see what you believe.
Okay.
If we are voting on these constitutional amendments, if we are interpreting them, and our interpretation becomes absolutely, let's say, a 180 from what the original intent of the authors of that document is, are you in favor of that?
I guess it depends on the issue.
Okay, I would say no matter what.
So, for example, take the Second Amendment, which we kind of danced around. It's not been come up here and there.
Yeah.
You know the debate about the Second Amendment is the fundamental debate is one side says it's unlimited, and the other side says no. What they meant was the militias.
Yeah.
They didn't, and they had muskets. They didn't mean AR-15s, right? So we can have that endless debate, which I really don't care for about that. But to come back to your point about the constitutional principles, the 14th Amendment comes along in the 1860s, so it's pretty old. It's not as old as America, but it comes along, and it's been around for 150 years. So if you want to get away with it,
but it was around. It was around before 150 million Americans.
And I'm saying it was around before the United States was even created. It's part of ancient English common law. If you're born in a place, you're a citizen of that place, unless you're the child of a foreign diplomat or on a Native American reservation.
English common law did not exist simultaneously as millions of people coming across the border in a year.
Just to get to principles, your argument is numbers change everything.
Wait, it doesn't matter. The entire point of that is the recognition that migration is not a problem. It adjusts to the population size. If you have 10 people and 5 people show up, that's a big population. If you have 100 million people and 100 million people show up, that adjusts to the same fucking rate. Or you have 100 million people and 50 million people show up, that adjusts to the same fucking rate. It doesn't matter. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, there were less people back then, but the immigration patterns adjusted to the lower population. The real problem here is that he is upset about who's coming in. That's it. That's it. And they can't say it openly. Well, some of them do, but they can't just some of them are too shy about revealing their actual position, which is that ultimately they think people from certain countries are inferior and they're brown, and that is a position of inferiority, and that white people are superior and they're being replaced.
Everything because we've got so many more people.
Not solely, but absolutely.
Okay.
The demographics of your immigration absolutely change it.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? If you got rid of the 14th Amendment, what would be in its place?
I think a citizenship test would be fantastic.
What age?
What age? I think we could administer it in high school.
To everyone?
Sure.
Or just the immigrants?
No, everybody.
And then if you fail it, you denaturalize white American
maybe you can't get a government job.
Naturalize that, dude?
I think there's plenty of benefits that the government offers people that you should not be able to receive.
I'll tell you this, right?
Wow, this solution is fucking stupid. Wow, all of a sudden, you ask, how would you go about this? And everything falls apart. So what do you do up until the point of going to high school? You just are statesless? Like, what are we talking about? You're just statesless. There's nothing you can do. No amenities. How do you go to public school? How do you even go to high school? You're statesless. Yeah, and Mehdi is right. It would unironically be a real replacement of all the whites and American soil.
This might sound bad.
And I think
people care for me anyway, so let me say something you might not like.
Nobody would pass it.
If you have a high school immigration citizenship test for everyone,
I think people will take citizenship more seriously.
I'm guessing the immigrant kids are going to outperform the white kids, and you might actually end up denaturalizing some of the white kids, and then people here will be really upset.
And well, hold on. And I like to be consistent about this. That's possible. But what I think it would do is it would give everybody a larger sense of the importance of citizenship.
So you would say no one born in this country is a citizen? No one? Or
automatically no. Automatically no.
Wow.
I think we could.
This is so stupid. Oh my God, it's so fucking dumb. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting from this guy, but holy shit, I didn't think it would be that dumb.
Could extend that, people who have a heritage in the country
what
of
are they until they pass the test? Undocumented?
I suppose, yeah. They are not able to receive government benefits. They're not able to receive government benefits. They're not able to apply for these jobs.
But their parents are citizens.
Okay, well, hold on. We're talking here about the way that we would implement it.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty important. If you're trying to get rid of the 14th Amendment, I'm going to ask about the practicalities of it.
And we're not
Trump's doing it right now.
And I'm not going to be able to explain it to you in 10 minutes. But what I can explain to you is that right now in this country, we have a crisis of people not hold on. We're not understanding what citizenship is.
Dude, every person on U.S. soil is stateless until they reach high school and they take a citizenship test is so stupid. They literally can't take advantage of any of the amenities. Like they can't go to school. They can't travel. And also on top of that, that unironically would open up the floodgates of migration. That literally would be the great replacement. You would only have America would overnight turn into an Asian country. And it should. Take advantage of that. You know what I mean? Every white person would fail the citizenship test and dudes from Uttar Pradesh would be flying in here to just ace that test so goddamn hard for upward social mobility that it would make people's brains explode, okay? Finally, America would be a Chinese-Indian state, okay? A collaborative, half Chinese, half Indian nation state. Yeah, I support this guy's idea. People should fight really hard for it. It's ironic because it literally, yeah, and then it would be a quarter Nigerian. And then I don't know what happens to the white Americans who failed the citizenship test. I don't know what we do with them.
The way that you've referred to citizenship makes everybody who hasn't come to the United States an undocumented American citizen until the time they come over here.
That's how a lot of countries are, right? You know that birthright citizenship is operated by multiple democracies around the world. I know Trump lies and says, we're the only country that does it. He lies. That's not true. Multiple countries have
Do you think it ought to be that way? Do you think everybody in the world is an undocumented American?
So, hold on. Well, or undocumented Canadian or undocumented Brit, right? Or undocumented.
Sure. Well, I'm an American, so I say America. But yeah,
but I'm saying, right, the principle is you immigrate. We have free movement of people around. I support free movement of people around the world.
But do you believe they're all
are you Kim Jong-un? You think people should only stay in one country and never leave and be blocked from leaving their country?
I think
that's a very illiberal and conservative position.
I think there's a big big room to move between being Kim Jong-un and saying that
not really. Hold on. In practical terms, if you accept,
I gave one side. I want to give the other. There's a big room to move between being Kim Jong-un and saying that everybody in the world is an American, they're just not on our soil yet. I think being an American
that's a ridiculous
citizen,
statement, right? Because everyone in the world is not heading for the United States of America.
Yeah, but
in fact, right now, numbers of people coming in is dropping a lot.
But the idea that you are supporting is that the moment you come to this soil and that you're born here, you become an American. And
so I'm not saying at the moment you come to the soil, you become an American. I didn't. I had to do the test. Right?
Okay.
I had to do the naturalization process, which is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment. But the 14th Amendment also says if you're born here, then you automatically get it. And I'm not saying,
I think the problem we have,
it's a hill I'm going to die on.
The problem we have is we don't appreciate citizenship. The problem is that when you talk about immigration like we did before,
agree on that.
When we talked about everything before, what were we talking about? We were talking about products. We weren't talking about practices or perceptions, which is really what immigration is about.
Can I agree with you? We don't in this country value citizenship enough.
I agree.
I think we should encourage people to have more civics lessons in schools, understand American history and Constitution much more. Here's what's the irony.
Okay, this debate is stupid. The rest of this is just dumb. It's just like, this is done. It's cooked. We saw the Israel stuff.